Ladies and gentlemen, goblins and ghouls,
Welcome to Turn Off the Century.
the movie podcast exploring films from the turn of the millennium through the end of its first decade. I'm Robbie, and I'm joined by my fellow auteurs, Hunter and Sauce. Hang out as we revisit the spoofs, bangers, crimes, and chaos of an era we're still trying to understand. Today's movie, the 2006 classic,
Silent Hill.
We burn this witch! We vanquish evil!
Hey, you up there! I'm a police officer!
We burn the child! We fight the demon!
What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Those who aid the demon, they must be cleansed by the fire from whence they came.
You're crazy!
Welcome to Turn Off the Century. I'm joined by my fellow auteurs, Hunter.
Hey, how's it going, Vampire Dracula Robbie?
What do we have here? Oh, Sasan.
Yeah, hey, I don't know if you're going to do this the whole episode, but I'm kind of scared. I need you.
I am not going to do that the whole episode. But, Hunter, if editing note, add some lightning, thunder, some bats, maybe a mummy.
Yeah,
It's
two
already
other
zombies,
good hot
though.
podcast hosts. Just make sure you throw those in there, too.
Yeah, there's also a jack-o'-lantern. It's just over there. You can't,
Well,
see,
I mean,
you can't hear it, but you'll see it.
Yeah, we're creating a scene here. So it's like, and this is Halloween time, and Halloween is important to us as boys in the suburbs. And, and so before that, we watched the 2000, what year was it? 2006?
2006.
2006 classic Silent Hill.
I was giving us a moment of silence for Silent Hill.
Damn.
It's not dead. It's coming back. So I'll go ahead. The Silent Hill 2006 adaptation of the 1999 Konami video game on the PlayStation 1. Directed by Christoph Gans, starring Rhoda Mitchell, Jadelle Ferland, Sean Bean, and other people. Also Pyramid Head and Alice Krieg, which I was going to mention it before we even started recording. That's the Borg Queen. That's why I couldn't picture how uncanny her face is. It was driving me crazy. It's the Borg Queen from Star Trek.
That makes
sense.
That makes total sense.
So, also another Turn Off the Century alum, 2000s classic actor. We're adding him to our Hall of Fame. Rhoda Mitchell, now being
Absolutely.
referenced in as many episodes as Colin Farrell.
Damn
So
right.
we get a nice
Legend.
there we go.
Yeah, the legend. Turn Off the Century legend. Alumni. What's up?
The Turn Off the Century cinematic universe is
It's growing by the day.
So,
Hopefully we can get them all into one movie.
Let's go ahead. Like each of you, what was your experiences with both Silent Hill, maybe as a video game, but also now seeing that they were doing a semi-faithful adaptation into a movie? I don't know. Hunter, you go first.
Okay, yeah, so this is truly my first and most extensive exposure to Silent Hill. I do know Silent Hill as a property. I did not play the video games. It's one of those, I think we've mentioned it before, but there's video games from that era, like the late 90s, early 2000s, where one of your friends owned it and you didn't own it, and you've seen a lot of it, but you've never played it yourself, and this is one of those for me. My friends had Silent Hill on, I think, was it PlayStation? PlayStation 2 was Silent Hill
PlayStation
2,
1,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, PlayStation 1 was Silent Hill, and 2 was... I think 2 is probably the one I've been most exposed to, because of PlayStation 2, all my friends had one. But I know of it, but I had never really... Like, I've only... It's been at arm's length. I know of the plot. So this is the first time I've really ever exposed myself. I never saw the movie, just wasn't really into it. It was kind of that zone of video game movies where they were really hit or miss, like extremely hit, mostly miss. They were not very good. So I just didn't go see them usually.
Well, because Resident Evil was a few years before this, right?
I
Yeah, I
want to
think
say
that was
like 2 or 3.
2001. I think it
Oh,
was
was
one
it
of the last.
2001? Wow.
Or was it
That would have been
2002? I think it was
2001 because they had that Slipknot song on there, and I think that album also came out in 2001.
I think you're right. Yeah. Wow, it's
Yeah.
a little older than I thought.
But for me, Silent Hill, I really like Silent Hill because I remember renting the first one when I was pretty young, and I remember the game scared the shit out of me. And
That was also part of it. Like, I was super scared. Like, the idea of Silent Hill scared me because I was not into horror stuff like that.
yeah, I've always kind of had a thing for horror stuff, so it was like Silent Hill really intrigued me, and also just it was that age of video game where video games were starting to become more cinematic. So I felt like it was cool to see a horror movie kind of represented as a video game, essentially. So I really like Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 2, and Silent Hill The Room, which I think is very underrated.
It's definitely getting its like flowers after the fact now. Like it's reached cult classic status, as evidenced by how expensive a loose copy is right now.
I was curious. Again, as someone who's only like arm's distance from Silent Hill, which one is? Because I've always hear people talking about Silent Hill and Silent Hill 2 mostly. Which one is
Yeah,
like
it's the most famous one.
Okay, so like that's my curiosity. Like coming from someone, I kind of look at Silent Hill kind of like I look at Metal Gear Solid. Like I really like the cinematic aspect of it and stuff. But I've played more Metal Gear Solid than I have Silent Hill. So I've always been curious, like which one is like the one to play if I was going to play just a single Silent Hill movie. Or game.
2 is going to be probably your best bet. It's got the most concise what people really remember about it. But this
was based on one,
is,
right? This is like the
absolutely,
this movie
yeah.
is based on one. Okay.
It's pretty closely adapted from one, especially in its like initial scenario. The changes they make to fit, international movie going audience, though, I'll definitely get into as we get into the plot.
I would say actually that's a lot of my issues with this movie is that it's honestly it's kind of like when we did a Daredevil. It's almost sometimes just too slavishly devoted to the source material.
I'll definitely pick apart later where it definitely like deviates, and then you can kind of decide. I personally, for me, and my attachment relationship to the series is like I am a huge Silent Hill fan. I'd say I like Silent Hill more than I like Resident Evil, which I've also played every mainline entry in at least.
Right.
Silent Hill 1 being a good way to describe them is Silent Hill 1 is maybe the actual scariest one. Silent Hill 2 is the most like disorienting, uncomfortable one. And keep in mind, these they have no connective tissue whatsoever. Like they are almost. It was initially supposed to be that this was a anthology style series where every time the only thing that they have in common is that there is a town called Silent Hill and somebody has some shit going on there. And then Silent Hill 3 is a direct sequel to the plot of 1, which definitely feels like a bit slept on after the fact, but that is also my favorite of the game series. And then Silent Hill 4 kind of does the return to, well, like it's different for everybody, so it's different this go around. Where that one's even interesting, where like a good 2/3 of the game doesn't even take place in Silent Hill. Like it ends up really being like an end destination, as opposed to like the place where the entire plot goes down. So this game definitely like very well received, especially as you know with Resident Evil's popularity in the 90s. Every company was kind of look, we need to make our own Resident Evil. So then you have SquareSoft making Parasite Eve, which is like a tank controlled.
I
supernatural
Parasite Eve, yeah.
I love Parasite Eve and Parasite Eve 2.
I
love those games.
SNK had Kodelka, which I don't know if anybody played that.
I don't think I've ever played that.
Yeah, which is like almost like a tactical RPG style
that sounds cool.
survival horror. And then Konami was tasked with making Silent Hill. And fun thing about Silent Hill is this all goes down in lore. You can find countless YouTube documentaries about the formation of the team that made this game. But it famously was made of Konami rejects. It was everybody who didn't fit into every department. They always took like the person who was just like stuck out like a sore thumb, could not work well with others, and they stuck them all in a room and they said, "Here's your budget. You have to make the Konami Resident Evil. After that, we really don't have any guidance." And then they really let their freak flags fly.
I love that they found the weird. They found all the weird, unsettling goth kids, and they just went. I just put them in their own room.
Yeah.
I really don't want to talk to them.
Exactly. Yeah, they were kind of like the little bit of the Devil's Rejects, and they created
Yeah.
what is like maybe the more formative like actual horror experience for the entire like that generation of gaming.
I would say probably the most influential horror property of our generation, at least, or even the next generation.
And it continues on now as we see
Yeah.
that we've gotten a remake of Silent Hill 2. We're getting an actual full blown. Again, this film is directed by Christoph Gans. We're getting a new adaptation of the Silent Hill 2 plot, directed by Christoph Gans, coming out this January.
interesting.
It looks
I didn't
awful, and I
catch
can't wait.
Well, it's getting the high-profile January release date where all the best movies come out.
That's where they drop them all.
It's a great sign.
Oh yeah.
That's where all the Oscar
honestly,
winners
that's the
is
one where I
January.
really can't fault you for watching it on Tubi because they produced it.
that makes a lot of
Are you
sense.
serious?
I think Bloody Disgusting has a hand in it, but I don't.
Okay.
I mean,
That's
everything about it
even
reeks
better.
of everything about it reeks of Tubi original, and I'm like, you know what?
Hell yeah.
Work. Like so.
Dude, that's awesome.
Director Christoph Gans, Frenchman. Who have either of you seen Brotherhood of the Wolf or
I
Le
have
Bec
not.
de Loup?
Yes, I have.
You have
that
seen it?
movie. Yes,
So are you?
I had
are you
to
fond
import
of
it.
that
I
movie?
had to import a Blu-ray of that movie to get a copy of it.
I almost bought it at at a thrift store the other day, but it was region locked, and I was like, I'm not going through all this.
Oh, that
effort,
sucks.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Is it any good?
Yes, it's. I think it's better than Silent Hill.
I'm opposite on that, but I did watch it in lieu
Interesting.
of kind of like being so fascinated by Christoph Gans, and so this movie, Brotherhood of the Wolf, was for the longest time the highest grossing film in France for like decades. Like it
Really?
it like broke every record. And famously starring Vincent Cassel, Monica Bellucci, and some others
cast.
I'll get into. But it's weird. But so this movie, off the coattails of this like incredibly successful French movie, and they even brought it over stateside because of its popularity. They asked him, what is your next project? And he very passionately, even before getting the rights, I believe, was like, I want to make Silent Hill. Like it was a obsession and a fascination for him. And he teamed up with Roger Avery, famously Academy Award-winning co-screenwriter of Pulp Fiction, as well as Rules of Attraction, who I believe also has a fascination with Silent Hill. They teamed up and were like, "That I'm not doing anything until I get a budget for this," and then it was greenlit.
awesome.
How weird.
I don't think so. I don't think this movie does, regardless of any issues, and I'm sure we'll get into all our issues, but it screams a guy who's a fan of this property. Like
It absolutely does.
There's not
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a cynicism that comes with a lot of video game movies, especially from this era, like where they started really picking up steam. Where it's just like, we need to get this out because X property is popular. We need to make the money, and I'm sure this has some of that to it. But like, it doesn't, from the creative side of things, it feels like someone, regardless of the changes, which again I'm sure we'll go into, but it feels like
a lot.
something that they actually had a passion for.
Well, I
that does come through.
was messaging Sauce yesterday when I was watching it, and I was saying how like you can definitely feel where there's the back and forth between the studio and the filmmakers.
Yes.
You know, like you can definitely feel when that kind of comes to play in the movie.
Even as someone who hasn't played the video games, I can still feel that. Like, the tug of war is real.
So to kind of dive into that, I'm just going to drop my trivia knowledge because, much like I said, I
do it.
followed the production of this movie from its jump, like from the moment it was announced. In Christoph Gans' original script, the main character of Silent Hill 1 in the video game is Harry Mason looking for his lost daughter in a town covered in fog where nothing seems right, and then also demons exist. His biggest
That old
change
story.
was that his entire script featured only female characters. And I think when asked on it, he went, "You just don't see that, so why not?" Like I'm given a chance to have some creative control,
Which I respect
He really
that.
pushed-
I think that's
he
actually
really
cool.
pushed to have, and also like to kind of break our own streak here. Like it's a movie with a predominantly female cast. that we
Absolutely.
can talk about rather than just one female character who isn't even a character. So the big
The one
reason why I
female
wanted to
character
pick
who
it.
represents all female characters.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So, which we definitely got into in the Unleashed episode.
Absolutely.
And the studio's biggest note, and I almost think that he did that almost as a diversion. This is personal headcanon theory. He did it as a diversion because there's so much that he did want to, as Robbie said, slavishly adapt. That they had to give him some kind of notes, and then I think that's also where Roger Avery came in to be like, so the studio's biggest notes is you do need male characters in this, and the conceit of separating them into like two separate realities, navigating the same place. I think that's where that was born, but also
makes
just
sense.
because the world of Silent Hill is so oppressive and bleak
Yes.
and like just uncomfortable.
You need that kind of break from it.
Correct. Yeah. So I think it works out in the film's favor. If it was in a
I'm
true
gonna
sense
say-
of irony, the male characters feel way more paper thin than all the
I'm,
female.
I'm gonna
God,
say
they are-
I'm
they
gonna
are
say it kind of
one-dimensional.
works. I'm gonna say it kind of works in the thematic elements of the movie as well, because even the husband and the cop in that they're kind of dealing with the same themes that are going on within.
Yeah, they're
Silent
dealing
Hill.
with parallels because like one's a cop and one's a spouse trying to save their child,
And
You know,
it's
they're-
them trying to kind of work within this very oppressive system of, systematic industry and the police and all that kind of stuff,
You see a world where the police are not only like directly involved in the events that kickstart this whole weird culty demonology thing, like that they in our world, in our reality, they still hold all the power versus, and we'll get into it as we start kicking into the plot. That a cop in the Silent Hill world, in the other world, has no power other than like what is presumed, before they accept that they're in this whole other reality.
All right, well, do you want to start into it, or did you have
jump in.
a little more trivia to go?
I think I'll also sprinkle in trivia as we go, but that was just
Sure.
the basic premise, is that the startup is that this is very much a passion project from Christoph Gans, and
Which
it
again,
really makes
I think
me,
you can tell, and wanting to do a movie with all female characters, I think it is actually a really kind of admirable idea and an interesting one. So I do respect it as far as that is concerned.
And Hunter, anything else before we jump into it? Any other observations? Because like I said, it feels like you're maybe the one who's the most like, what the fuck is this shit?
I don't want to bash on it. I will say, going into this, I can couch everything in like knowing that there's passion behind it, knowing some of the influences, like movie wise, the influences. Even if I don't know the game as well. But man, yeah, this was a rough one for me, honestly, for a lot of it. About halfway through, I think y'all saw my message on there. But I was about halfway through, and I'm like, guys, does this movie suck? And I get like
I saw that message.
I started coming around. There's certain things I dug, but we'll get into it as we get into the movie.
Yeah.
I'll let you take it away.
I'll
Yeah,
just
yeah,
go
let's
ahead and
kick
say before we get into the plot too, like I actually have like a relationship, I want to say, with this movie. So like I saw it on opening weekend with Robbie. It
Yeah.
came out on my birthday opening weekend, and I had issues with it. Like I was like the first 2/3, I was like this is so, yes, give me exactly what I want. And then as I noticed that it starts to kind of almost simplify things, my brain wouldn't accept that it was simple. And I already had such a relationship with the plot of the original that I was constantly overcomplicating it. And then even recently, so like this is definitely like I watch this every Halloween season. I try to, at least, or to show it to people who haven't seen it. And I showed it to a couple of friends, one had seen it, one who hadn't. And when I told her last night, I was like, "Oh, our next episode's on Silent Hill." I was like, "I'm sorry, I know that was like a rough one on you." And she was like, "No, that, you know what? I give it credit." Like she's like, "I don't like horror. At least that was like, it was weird. Like it's just fucking weird,
Yeah.
from start to finish." And I was like, "Okay, cool." That kind of lent it, some credence. And then on my most recent viewing for this podcast, like I probably my most charitable viewing of it yet. I think it went from I don't just like it or I have a complicated thing with it. Like I think I low-key love this movie. So we're gonna have a fun talk as right out the beginning. Hunter, did it strike out to you interesting, like the music right out the gate as we're getting the vanity cards?
So I was going to mention a couple things, actually. The music, and there's a couple of things, like a couple of camera angles they use a lot, and I was kind of curious if it was because there's certain things you'll catch that are like, this is definitely reference to like old Giallo movies or old different types of horror movies, but then there's certain things like this. The soundtrack sounded like a video game soundtrack to a lot of it, and I wasn't sure if that's accurate or not. I don't know if that was what it was. It was very odd.
It's almost entirely original music from Silent Hills 1, 2, and 3 by the same composer.
Cool. So I
Akira
wasn't
Yamaoka.
crazy in that. That it felt like the music was from a video game, and it felt like some of the shots were something I'd see in like, not necessarily in Silent Hill, because I don't know if it was tank controls or anything like that, but it reminded me a lot of the old Resident Evil scenes where you'd be like the camera is static and you're walking through a scene, and then it would change the camera. Kind of like, it's weird. There was just certain spots where that was mostly later when they were like
camera
in
angles
buildings.
is what they were called.
Yeah,
fixed camera angles. But so what made the game interesting is that while it would appear to be fixed, because you're definitely like, okay, this is Resident Evil, it would start becoming more and more dynamic the more and more
Interesting.
it was trying to show you, but also like obfuscate things that will start
which
disorienting
plays
you.
into the horror of it, because scary stuff is stuff you can't see, you know.
Yeah,
Correct.
and that doesn't start really at the beginning, because the beginning's they're running out of a house, all that stuff.
Just smash
more
right
when they
into
get to
it.
when they get to the Silent Hill part, is the camera angle part. That's where I start seeing more, especially internal shots in the buildings. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So just to kick the plot off, smash right into it. A couple of parents are fucking yelling at the top of their lungs,
Yeah, they
looking
are.
for their child Sharon, who's sleepwalked away from their residence, and they find her at the edge of a quarry, seemingly about to take her own life. And as the mother, named Rose De Silva, played by Rhoda Mitchell, stops her, grabs the daughter Sharon, and the child is screaming. Unfortunately, very bad child acting. Won't stop screaming. Yeah. Like I don't know, man. Child actors are hit or miss.
Again, I think the little girl's actually pretty decent in the movie. I think she's not bad in it, but I think she wasn't given a whole. I don't know if
she's the cutest kid I've ever seen. Like, I mean, big anime eyes.
Yeah, totally big anime. I think
yeah.
that's what because I don't want to say her acting was great, but I think she fit the role nicely.
I'd go so far as to agree, and I believe I watched in the special features, like, she was cast almost immediately because she didn't flinch at anything they were showing
Throwing
her.
at her,
I
yeah.
think when you have kids, you're gonna be like, hey, but we're making a scary movie, you know, like they might like. You
Not
don't
want to be a
you don't
part
want
of
to
it.
traumatize them. Apparently, she had like a natural, like, at least actor's attitude of like, this is fun, whatever. You know, like, I'm fine. Let's go. We're making
Right.
pretend. And
We're gonna show you some of the freakiest stuff ever. We're gonna traumatize you. She's like, I love being traumatized. I'm big into that right now.
Look, I'm a child. I'm a
at the
child
right age.
actor. I've seen some shit.
This money's gonna be stolen from me. That's gonna be the most traumatizing thing.
So we flash forward to the next day, and I think this shot is like low-key, like, really pretty. Like, it's getting ready to be sunset. It's just pre-magic hour, and Rose is sitting with her daughter Sharon, her adopted daughter Sharon, and showing her the drawings she makes. She goes, you know, you draw these pretty pictures, but then you draw them and make them perverse, or you make them, you know, like, scary. She's like, why are you doing that? And the daughter is unaware that she's even doing that. She's like, hey, who did that to my drawings? She's becoming more and more unaware that, like, she's doing this. And he's like, well, you keep talking about some place called Silent Hill, and you won't. She's like, I don't even know what that is. I'm 6. Like, I can't, like, tell you.
She says it all the time. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Mom. I'm 6.
Yeah, she
I
says
don't
it
know what's
literally
going on.
every day. No,
I still say that shit.
I want to talk about the cinematography for a second because, you know, there's a lot of parts of the cinematography that I do like in this movie that I find very interesting or cool to look at. And then there's a lot of cinematography in this movie that just screams to me credit card or insurance commercial in 2003. And
Really?
Really? It's baffling. There's so many shots where it's like,
I don't get that
know.
feeling at all. Like,
Oh,
especially
dude.
now that we're in the Capital One era of today, of like.
well, no, but
every
that's
movie.
I don't think they look like Capital One commercials now. I think they look like Capital One commercials back in 2003 because so many. It's just like very basic. Here's both characters. Here's the thing, and I don't know. I don't know if it was the lighting or what, but there was something. There was camera angles that would get me at times where I go, "This just looks like a commercial to me." I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I really felt that way a lot in the movie because there would be generally interesting camera shots, and then it would just be one where it's like two characters talking, and I'm like, yeah, this looks like some insurance commercial.
Or a car commercial. Like
car commercial, definitely.
I couldn't
that's
disagree
kinda-
more, but I mean, we'll chalk it up to move on. But I mean, is there any other like observations about this beginning part, or do we wanna
I think the beginning part, I think the first 20 to 30 minutes, I think is actually pretty well done. I think there's a really good vibe, like a really weird kind of unsettling vibe to the movie, and I think there's a good atmosphere that's really
everyone
set up
is in
very
conflict.
nicely. Yeah,
Every character is in conflict. The mother is taking her daughter. She's decided against her husband's wishes. Husband Chris, played by Sean Bean, I'm going to take our daughter to Silent Hill because at the very least, like, if it causes her to either not be afraid of it anymore or like confront whatever mystery is waiting for us there. So she, against her husband's wishes, takes her child, and they start road tripping out. And the daughter's even kind of confused, like, well, Mom, why are we doing this? Like, I don't want to go there. Like, I don't want to do this. So she's already kind of in conflict with her daughter. She's in conflict with her husband, who has now concerned that his
rightfully
wife
so.
has just took off. Yeah, he's not out of his depth. I mean, he's out of his depth.
Not
he's
at
not out
all.
of his right to be concerned. But he's also like they stopped to get gas, and where we're introduced to the cop character played by I don't know, lose her name.
It was
Sybil.
Laurie Holden.
Played by Laurie Holden. Yes, thank you.
Lori
very much.
Holden, yes.
They stopped to get gas,
baby.
but all of her credit cards are canceled, so she pays. cash.
Hunter's already feeling it.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
so
Sybil.
Sybil
man,
is the
Officer
one,
Sybil.
the only character who is actually from the game, and aesthetically,
Oh, she is good. I'm definitely playing
yeah,
the game now.
she's the main like. This is the in-game character we brought over. We didn't change them or change their name or change their look. Like she's the only one-to-one that they brought in. So it is a really nice moment. I think where this screenplay is actually pretty effectively written is that with very few lines you kind of get everybody's motivations. She sees that Rose and Sharon are getting to disagreement, and even though you like from the outside, a normal person would assume like, yeah, moms and their kids, leave it alone, not my business. She approaches the car to talk to Sharon and asks if everything's okay, and Sharon tells her, Robbie, if you want to go ahead and you can finish up this part.
Oh, what is this? Or she tells her to I don't talk to strangers.
And rolls up the window. Yeah.
No, I actually really liked. I think this is a great introduction to the character because there is already a distrust of her as a character because she's a cop. So why are you going to trust her?
And she's already snooping too. Like she's
Yeah,
instantly
exactly.
suspicious.
You actually don't necessarily know much about her. She's kind of scary looking. She looks like she's fully sunglassed up. She's fully helmeted up. She's a motorcycle cop, so it's like you don't know what the motivations. It's at night, so it's kind of scary.
And then when she rolls up the window, she just goes, "Good girl." I think that's a great intro kind of scene where you go, okay, she seems to have a good vibe to her. She's not an evil person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say so we got to bring it up at some point because we've talked about it off camera a bit. The dialogue. I don't think it's poorly written necessarily, the screenplay, the dialogue, stuff like the script, but other than yelling Silent Hill, but the fact it's so stilted, and I know, Sauce, you mentioned it's a choice, and I do think it's a choice. I think something, is it video game related? I don't know. Y'all can tell me, if that's how they're delivered in the video game.
Just video game related. So keep in mind at this point, just 1 year prior, Metal Gear Solid came out, and its big claim to fame, aside from its entire presentation, was the fact that it featured ostensibly good, convincing voice acting, video game voice acting, and I kind of want to. I'll get some clips for you to throw in here. Was always thought of as it's so corny, it almost takes you out of it.
Well, Resident Evil 1, yeah,
but
wait,
if you play
don't
Resident Evil 2,
open
it's
that
not
door.
Yeah, it's not much better. And then once it came time for Silent Hill 1, and they know they're playing with Konami money, which at the time is good. They produced Metal Gear Solid, so you'd think that okay, well, why does this still have kind of weird voice acting? You realize that, especially as we go into 2 and 3, as the production values increase, it is very inspired by David Lynch and Cronenberg, where everything about these games is not supposed to make you feel like this is recognizable or relatable. They very intentionally include very stilted dialogue from questionable resourced actors.
I understand.
It's supposed to disorient you.
Yeah, it does. It's less disorienting and more annoying for me, I think, is what it ended up being. 'Cause it doesn't necessarily disconnect me from the setting in any way. It's not boy, it's odd. It makes me think, yeah, this is odd, but not in a I want to learn more way. More in a really wish I'd stop talking like that way. And they just kind of keep doing it for about an hour and 45 minutes after this, and I'm just like, man, that is a lot of exposition that's told in a really weird, non-Shakespearean, non-theatrical way, but still very odd.
The remake of Silent Hill 2 dealt with this, and I think they literally hired a lot of people, especially they famously hired YouTubers to consult, because these are people who've analyzed it top to bottom over the last 20, 25 years. They're how do we faithfully recreate this? And I think a big thing was trying to modernize the stilted dialogue, because in 1 and 2 especially, they're almost, you feel like these aren't even, they got non-actors to do these roles. Some of them definitely the case. they were like that. You don't understand. Like people might be. Oh, also when they re-released Silent Hills 2 and 3 for an HD collection, they re-recorded all the dialogue, and they're like, no, but we got good voice actors to do it because like that was the big disconnect. People don't like it because it has bad voice acting, and the fan community was in an uproar over it because they're like, no,
I remember this.
That
I
is a
remember
part
that
of it.
happened. Okay.
It is a part of its identity, you know. So both in trying to re-release the games as well as remake one entirely from scratch, there was like a lot of consultation, like how do we handle this dialogue? How do we handle this where it isn't feel alienating now that people are used to like A-list actors in almost every video game now, you know.
So I want to say the stilted dialogue didn't bother me at all, actually. And I come from I like David Lynch and Cronenberg movies a lot, and I don't mind.
I do too. I just want to say I do like David Lynch and Cronenberg.
Right. I don't mind deliberately kind of stilted dialogue. That's never bothered me in a sense. My main problems with this movie kind of comes from a lot of the slavish devotion to the source material, as well as I feel like they just don't take enough chances.
Okay, so
to get like experimental.
Let's get the plot going there because I almost like fervently disagree with you, but for a reason. I'm like I can see your concern, but I also like wholeheartedly disagree. So after Sybil and Rose, Sybil still checks like, is everything okay? Can I help you? I'm a cop, and Rose is still trying to, she knows she's fighting with her husband. If he's canceled the credit card, he's probably already put out an APB that like my wife and my daughter are missing. She's avoiding the cop, and they get on the road. And on the road to Silent Hill, she starts driving fast because she's like, I just need to get the fuck away from this cop. Well, now she's speeding. Now Sybil has a reason to pull her over. And this is like the second the radio starts going into like actual radio from the game, which for people who don't know, in Silent Hill, your main character has a radio on, and the second you start hearing radio static, it sounds like transmissions that can't get through. That means monsters are close. Demons, monsters, whatever otherworldly creatures are close. So as they're barreling towards the exit to Silent Hill, which is a condemned town, sorry, just to fill in people a little bit more lore, this movie was originally under the title Silent Hill, Centralia, because of the famous Pennsylvania town Centralia, from a coal fire that caused it to become a ghost town. The fires
that's still
are
burning to this day, right?
Still burning to this day. Yep. You can't even. I've also looked. I because I was such an ardent fan, like I looked up people who've like ventured off to go revisit Centralia, and they're like, the asphalt is so hot that it'll melt the soles of your shoes.
Oh shit!
So like you literally like cannot get in there. Like it's a you might be curious. It might be like, where's the fire still burning or what have you. But it's definitely based off of Centralia as its own, like, it's a Japanese made video game, but about like American lore and mythology and what have you. So I mean, I wrote down in my notes, Rose, guiltiest mom of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately, she just steps on the gas. Let's go.
I love that even in Silent Hill, ACAB, I don't think it includes Sybil, but it does, include the fact that, like, Jesus, man, like, you're not giving yourself any rope to work with.
I mean, she's like, even the parking lot, she's like, fucking cops. She's like, holy shit.
No, and I kind of like that in her, in that, like, she will do anything for her daughter. Even as you find out that she's adopted, all that kind of stuff, she doesn't care. It's like, no,
it doesn't matter. Why does that make
her?
It doesn't matter if she's adopted. She's my daughter,
Yeah, and so I kind of actually really like that aspect of it.
Yeah. So, while speeding away from Sybil, now that she's got the sirens on, a figure of a little girl wanders into the street, and to avoid hitting her, Rose swerves off, crashes the car, and immediately, gets knocked the fuck out. I like the way this is depicted in the movie even more than the game, I think.
Oh, interesting.
It feels very like visceral, where it's I don't know if you've ever been knocked out cold, but it is just that. It's you're out in a second before you can even realize what's going on.
Right.
And then she wakes up now in the fog-surrounded area, daughter missing out the car.
Bizarre
car is
world.
tanked. And she wanders past the sign called Silent Hill, into the town, looking for her missing daughter.
Oh, that's why this movie's called Silent Hill.
Yeah, no, it's not about a bunch of mountains and know when to shut the fuck up. So Robbie, now that we're in the Silent Hill, this is where why I appreciate this so-called slavish devotion is that a lot of times when you're playing video games, especially back in those days, you want to convince people that they are works of art, that they have this integrity to it, that they have this vision, they have this thing that someone's trying to express. And a lot of people are like, yeah, no, it's just Super Mario and bang bang shoot. Like, it's like, no.
Yeah.
So the fact that the Silent Hill 1's opening, this is where the game and the movie really do start to hit a sort of one-to-one stride. Rose is now searching this derelict town of Silent Hill, and everything from the camera angles to the atmosphere is all clicking into place. And as she's running around, she sees the figure that she avoided in the road, constantly avoiding her. And she's either trying to stop the kid, or she thinks that it is her kid, because guess what? They look weirdly similar.
What?
Yeah.
I don't care.
And we see as she goes down into a alleyway.
I didn't know it was that kind of movie.
As she goes down into an alleyway, it's this town is not just an empty ghost town. There's something much more sinister. We hear air raid sirens, and this alleyway that was once well lit is now pitch black. And Rose lights a lighter, and this is where the game, like, I think especially, like, this is as a one-to-one.
Yes, very, very video gamey.
And I think it's good because it's showing that, like, if in a movie you can replicate it in a much more approved medium.
But here's the thing,
can
and this
kind
is,
of like-
this
you
is
can-
where I get my problems with it, because I think video game and movie both completely different methods of delivery. And I think video game cinematography, video game like methods don't necessarily translate well to
Except in this
film
case, where
language.
I'm saying,
I don't
rather
think
than-
I don't think it
rather
translates
than-
that well.
I think it's the most, like, dynamic and interesting looking parts of the movie is when they do decide to do this.
So again, coming from an aspect of having not played the video game, it is strange that I felt like I identified this beginning section, again, not having seen it in video game form, as this is very video game coded and video game like shot. And
Yes.
it was disconcerting. I wasn't a huge fan of it. Like, what I felt like when I was watching it was, man, I wish I'd played Silent Hill, because I would probably appreciate this as something similar to the video game. But as someone who didn't play Silent Hill, it was more just, it was not really a good looking movie at the moment. And I think it's cool that it existed in that frame. And I think if I'd been a fan of the game to begin with, not that I don't like the game, but just like had I been like grown up with playing the game, I probably would have appreciated that. But I was just like, I am aware this is video gamey. I don't know how one-to-one, but it definitely felt like it was from a video game, but I wasn't really appreciating it. I was just like,
Here's the thing.
Weird.
I did grow up playing the game, and I do like the game, and I still like the game. But yeah, I don't know. It feels too obvious, I guess, and I feel like it's the cinematic language is not very interesting. Taking from the video game, unless you're in the video game, because in a video game you're able to interact, you're able to
And
look
that's
around
the point that
and
I was going to make, is that, like, video games have been using, it's called cutscenes, which are just cinematics that you watch in between gameplay sections to move the story along. It wasn't recreating a cinematic; it was trying to one-to-one recreate the gameplay, whereas as you as Harry Mason instead of Rose in the movie are navigating these, like, it starts becoming a congested hallway and, like, series of chain link fences that they can't move between. And in a game where you're usually used to fixed meaning like it's stuck in a position, that's when the game starts kind of really showing off, being like, actually, look how impressive this is. And it captures a sort of visceral, like, oh, holy shit, moment of like this is dynamically moving with how I'm playing. I find it impressive because it is an attempt to actually recreate gameplay versus just recreating. It would be much less impressive if it was recreating a cutscene, which is just trying to recreate cinema language.
Okay, but do you
that's
not remember?
I would say that's the word I would associate with it. Impressive. Not necessarily like I enjoy it, but I would be impressed by it if I was a fan of the game. And I
wasn't impressed by it because it's like, again, I'd rather be moving the camera around myself. I'd rather be exploring this world myself. All I can think about is the fucking Doom movie with The Rock, where they go, yo, here's a whole scene with him in first person mode, and doesn't this look like the video game? And it's like, I don't know, there's so many scenes in this movie where it's like, it feels like, okay, you got to jump from this to there, and you got to find the key, and you got to find the puzzle. And it's like the movie almost takes a break from any kind of thematic or interesting language that could be happening to try to wow you with video.
You're saying
things.
it doesn't play up its strengths being a film adaptation. It's almost
right.
So again, for me though, and it's good to hear your guys' perspective because I can only know how it affects me. I'm watching the pre-production and the trailers for this film, and I'm like, I feel like they're nailing it down, they're nailing the vibe and feel. And like for me, anybody who wants adaptation, like you love that where you're like, there, that's exactly who that character is. That's exactly how it should look. That's exactly how the camera should move. Like for me, I felt like vindicated, or I'm like, look, isn't this impressive? So it is very interesting to see that you guys both did not resonate with that.
I think it's more impressive if you see it on PlayStation 1 than if you see it in a 2006 movie
theater.
This is jumping way ahead. I don't want to. I'm not really plot jumping, but just since we're talking about video game scenes being adapted, was when she swings on a rope and Sybil's like, "Hey, swing over here." Was that directly from the video game? First?
Not at all.
Okay, I'm just checking.
But it feels very video gamey, right?
It seemed really weird when it popped up, and I was just like, "Is this like a reference?" I'm not kidding, because it's just like, "Hey, swing over here," and there's like the gap's not that big, and there was no tension. She just goes,
it's the
okay,
same too
and
when
then she
she's
swings
like
on the rope.
When she's like on the scaffolding and she's just kind of like hopping from like beam to beam.
Yes,
it all feels very like.
It felt like visual
more
level
so than Silent Hill. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just curious. That was me not knowing the video game, so I was just like making sure certain sequences. I'm like, this feels like an action, not just video gamey, but this feels like a level, and I'm not sure if I'm getting the reference.
Yeah. So just to get back into the plot, as she goes down to this dark, very faithfully recreated hallway scene, she's approached by these childlike demon characters who have like embers in their throat, and they're screaming at her, and they start multiplying in numbers. And as she realizes like she's going down, it's a very like claustrophobic moment, and she's freaking the fuck out, and is able to pry open a door to a bowling alley where she's about to be overtaken. Suddenly this otherworld phase starts to end, and all the children evaporate into cinder and ash. And I think
that was a cool effect.
Like she's experiencing such terror, such otherworldly terror, that she passes out almost like a sheep, and hits her head, and then immediately wakes up to like I love this needle drop of Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash.
Oh yeah, I think honestly that's a very I want to almost say like Lynchian kind of thing to do, and very very funny, like a nice little funny moment.
It really like releases the valve in terms of like how much tension you're experiencing.
Exactly.
Like, all she has is like this cigarette lighter as light, while she's being like swarmed by these demon children, and so she wakes up and now sees that we're back into she's back in just the derelict, gray, foggy, daytime covered town. And I think playing Ring of Fire, good choice, because it really, for the audience, shows that like we're back in a version of reality you're comfortable with, or you can recognize that is safe. Like they have Johnny Cash in this reality, not whatever like banging on chain link fences and pots and pans as this dynamic hey, let's just disorient you as much as humanly possible,
right?
And as she continues her search, she runs into another favorite character actress of mine, Deborah Kara Unger, playing Dahlia, this very upsetting looking homeless woman who's also looking for her daughter and claims to have been for the last 30 years.
She's playing one of the characters you see at Halloween Horror Nights, jumping out at you at the queue.
Yes. And another. So this character is also from the games. However, she's completely different. They took her character and split it into two for this. So the Christabella character we'll come across later is actually functionally the Dahlia from the game. This Dahlia is now kind of playing an alternate reality version of Rose, where her main thing is that she's trapped in this endless loop of looking for her daughter.
I read that they changed the character and that she was way worse in the game, but I didn't know that was literally two halves of the same, because Christabella is awful. Yeah,
Christabella in Dahlia is the Christabella in the game, so they kind of match and because you're playing as a father instead of a mother, I think they were just very much leaning into we want a female-centric movie,
female-centric, right?
yeah, motherhood, but also female childhood playing into it too. And like they were like, it makes sense to kind of split them up, and then to have like almost like a doppelganger for Rose in this new.
Which
version
again,
of
I think
Dahlia
that stuff
Gillespie.
kind of works. I think when they kind of go off of the game script a little bit, I think a lot of that stuff kind of works for me.
Yes.
It's a little more interesting, and it's a little.
Well, the game script also just doesn't make sense. Like it
Right.
does, but like a very intentional part of it is that you're so disoriented that like you're looking for answers. Like the answers won't satisfy you because you won't understand them, and like that leans into why that's like it's such a crucial reinvention of horror is that like you're constantly disoriented. And
Yeah.
while like you can watch 10 videos on YouTube this afternoon and figure out like what the
I
actual
will.
plot is, like
what the lore
yeah.
is.
Yeah, because in games, there's a whole plot with doctors who work in the hospital who are also like drug mules. That ties into the cult that we meet later. Like there's all this extra stuff. You're like, what part is important? And you're like, none of it, but all of it. much like Twin Peaks. Like there's so many plots that you're kind of like, what's responsible for the actual like crime of the missing child though? Like it's like you'll figure out later. You know?
And you can tell how much Silent Hill loves Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's very
this-
similar kind of stories and very similar themes.
Yeah, even having not played the games, like just based on the movie and what's based on here, it's like, wow, these guys are in love with Lynch. Like they love this guy.
Yeah,
yeah. It's Twin Peaks famously being huge in Japan.
huge in Japan. Yeah,
Yeah, they really loved it. I think it exposed an entire generation of people to this like alternate way of doing things. That they latched onto very very wholeheartedly. So
Listeners at home,
I mean-
if you get a chance, check out the Twin Peaks commercials for coffee.
oh yeah,
those are
Very
great.
funny. Awesome. It's like a separate Twin Peaks universe that exists only in Japan. It's awesome.
So she goes. So Rose gets back. She leaves Dahlia, goes back to her car, where Sybil is waiting for her. And I think all this interaction is great. I think Sybil is maybe like the best realized character in this.
Yeah, I
this
agree.
whole movie.
I agree with that. I think she's also maybe the best.
Oh wait, you mean best in the
I think-
game? I don't know anything in the game. She's just the best, most realized. I realize that she is their character. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yes,
think
yes.
her and Rose's interactions are the best parts of the movie too.
Yeah, so yeah, we see that. Like she immediately arrests Rose and is like, yeah, you made me crash my fucking bike. You fucking wandered off in this town, and now you've lost your daughter. Like, yeah, if you have no hope of, coming
You're
out of this
going to
fucking clean.
jail. Like,
You're going to ultra jail now.
But and this is where ACAB does not mean Sybil from from Silent Hill. Because she's like, look, what the fuck do you care about me anyways? And she's like, this abandoned town a few years back, somebody kidnapped a child and threw his body down a well to hide the evidence. And he's like, I went after him. I was the cop who found that kid. So you can tell that, like, oh, Sybil has a soft spot for kids in danger, to where it's like affected her. She was so traumatized by this that she can't let go any suspicion she has that like a child might be in danger, even if they're with a mother figure or an adult. It's the she doesn't ever want to experience that again.
Yeah.
And then shit
And
starts
she's right
getting
to
really
distrust
Silent
her.
Hill. Yo, yeah.
Like she's right. The mom's kind of crazy. Like she's going nuts, man.
I mean,
She's
yeah, but
going-
if you didn't know what the story was with the mom and the daughter, like, you would see that from the outside and go, yeah, she's kind of insane, and actually I probably should arrest her and protect the kid.
This kid is in danger before she was lost. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I'm doing this for my child. The child's like, I do not want to go to Silent Hill. I do not want to go to this place. She's like,
I don't even
"Listen,
know who's
you
doing
wanna
these crazy
go."
drawings.
So, with the exception of the Cinder Fire Children, which is a lot of CG. It kind of had me worried. Like the first time watching it, at least, like, oh, they're going to rely on CG. They don't. We are now visit our next monster who interrupts their interaction, their arrest, and it's from Silent Hill 2, which is like, I think at a certain point they're like, look, I have the rights to all the characters, I can throw them in wherever
We
I
can throw
fucking
them in
want. But this was actually done with, it's practical and like, rubber suits and slime and goop, and this monster shoots out acid
Acid?
at Sybil.
Yeah.
And it
Which,
causes her to remove her sunglasses and helmet.
Yeah.
Which again, it's fun with Sybil. Like the more cop stuff she pulls off of her, the more human she becomes. The more
Right.
like less T-1000-esque she becomes.
And again, when they actually do the practical effects, I think it looks really good in this movie.
That's where the slavish devotion I think pays off. Where it's like,
Yes.
no, these monsters are like straight up have like fucked up designs.
It's
Here you go.
this is the non-derogatory. It's the Halloween Horror Nights of the like you're going through a haunted house and you got the cool like outfits and stuff. Yeah, this is the cool part of that. This is the like, oh, they're gonna go through essentially a Silent Hill experience, and you're gonna see people dressed up as Silent Hill characters.
The one creature, the guy whose feet are like barbed wired to his head.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's like,
Oh,
that looked so cool, and like that you can tell they did that for real, and it looked so interesting. And I was like, I wish the whole movie could have just been stuff like that. Personally,
Yeah. So this like this monster that looks like a top torso is a body in a straitjacket with a head included in there too, like all wrapped down, but the straitjacket is made of flesh. Is like just, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's horrible. It is actually horrifying.
Super fucked up.
And Rose, already scared out of her mind, but also handcuffed behind her back, full blown sprint getting away from the cop. And Sybil like has to empty an entire clip into this monster to put it down. But she loses Rose, who, because of the drawing she found in the car of the school, is like, well, the school is my next logical place to look. That is where she would have gone, I guess. She starts booking it, and in a really clever. Both one, she's handcuffed behind her back, and she realizes as she like collapses that she can, she's limber enough to move the handcuffs to her front by sliding them under her butt and legs. This is where I'm kind of like, see, this is like a nice little subtle nod to like video game navigation.
I don't think this is subtle at all. I think it was the exact opposite of subtle.
Well,
I think it's just watching
I don't think I was
game.
watching it and thinking video game. I think I was watching going like, that's a really clever thing is that she uses the bus stops, yes, to navigate to the school, to just run full sprint as far as she can. And then she gets to the school, and then it's when it starts really like ramping up the video game. She finds a flashlight. She has her cell phone around her neck, which operates as her radio. If that starts making sounds, that means shit's about to get fucking real, or like the monsters are present,
And see, and this is what I mean when I wish... I don't appreciate that stuff as much because I'd rather they be. I think I guess I wish it was more expressive rather than literal. It's like, oh, here's the flashlight, here's this, and it's like, oh, here's your inventory, here's the puzzles. I wish it was a little more expressive and maybe a little more surreal, I guess. I wish they played a little bit more with the surrounding and was able to get it into more of a disorientating headspace rather than telling the audience, here's what it is. Oh, here's the puzzle. Here's this. She's got her inventory ready to go. That stuff always just kind of bothered me.
I think when you're doing adaptation, you need to throw in recognizable. I never really like paid attention to it until this most recent viewing where I'm like, oh, I get it. Like they're doing game stuff, and I never noticed it before. I think I just
that's crazy
like,
because that popped up to me like right away.
Yeah. I think even for me it kind of is a thing, but like I will say this: I think that if they had done it the way you're saying it, Robbie, I would remember this movie a lot less. And
interesting.
I think this is very unique. I don't think it's a weird thing though. Like I don't think it's good, and it was jarring for me because I'm like, this is a video game. Like I'm watching video game stuff, but like it's kind of charming. There's a charm to it that I don't necessarily think it's good, but it's like I would not have a second thought about this movie if I watched it and it didn't have that stuff in it. Because it's just kind of a generic video game movie at that point. I don't know. It's a weird line to walk. I guess I don't know if I fall right on either side.
It is hard with Silent Hill, and especially looking at Silent Hill now as opposed to 2006, where this was kind of a new realm of horror in a lot of ways, and everyone has ripped off Silent Hill so much at this point that it's one of those things too where I feel like it almost comes off as cliche, even though I shouldn't feel that way because this was kind of originally its thing. But I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to separate the kind of just video game language from the film language, and I'd much rather have like film language when I'm watching a movie than necessarily have like video game language, Does that make sense?
I just think that they're like quick little nods to move things along. And then as we see, she navigates the school that she's not. I'm sorry, I don't mean to like completely like drill. I don't want to stay on it too much. Or I'm like, I kind of like it because at least know that like, okay, they're almost kind of like reassuring you that like we like that this is a video game. We're not embarrassed to be a video game. It's kind of
I understand that, but again, I guess I'm just a purist in that sense that if you're making a movie, I feel like you should use cinematic language and kind of make a movie. And why try and be something else?
I think the challenge exists in like expressing the same like almost like kind of giving you Inception. Like, is it inspiring a lot of the same feeling you would get from the same thing? Because that's what made it stand out as much in the first place, you know?
Right.
I feel like there has to be something to kind of like reconnect you to the baseline before it just becomes like much like I had the problem with the Resident Evil movie. It's so different from the game.
Sure.
That like I don't even feel
and
like
there
thing.
is a
so
right.
what
You're right.
is the point?
There is a realm where you're doing an adaptation and you go too far off the source material and it's not even recognizable to what it's even referencing at a certain point. And yeah, you're right. Resident Evil was absolutely
it's a great example of that because it's just like you're just throwing the names of things on stuff from the video game. Like,
and like zombies show up for maybe 3 scenes, and you're like, but the whole point of it is that you're trapped in a house full of zombies, and then occasionally
but then you can go to the rainbow or umbrella, and there's a dog, and you go, "Wow, cool, man."
Like they're and again, like I think a lot of this stuff all starts influencing self. Like it's very fun in the Silent Hill 2 remake. Rose's outfit is hanging in the closet of one of the hotel rooms, and you're like,
oh,
okay,
that's cool.
Like they have a lot of things that they each inspire each other, and I think that's kind of interesting. I think that's good ultimately because it shows that like we're all like artists, kind of like connected to the same. I hate the word franchise, but I'm like, but you all have like you're inspired by it. You created something new that like then gets homage paid to it later. But,
so I guess not to go too off, but I guess my real problem with this movie has been so far because the plot isn't really an issue for me. This isn't like a badly constructed plot. It's not a bad script necessarily. I feel like there's points. I don't feel like this movie takes enough chances or tries to really become its own thing. And I think that's what has ultimately been bothering me with
it's
this
a little
movie.
on the boring side for me. It's just kind of like stuff happens and I'm not really super interested in everything. It's interesting. I'm more interested in seeing more of the monsters and stuff like that. I'm kind of curious for where the next big set piece is going to be.
Before we get to the next monster scene, which I know Robbie brought up, that like, give me more of that, which I dubbed as the quote-unquote creative liberties monster. There's now a parallel story starting where Chris De Silva, the husband, is on the trail of... He's in a Mercedes, or a BMW, I think. But
his wife is in a Jeep Liberty. Is very clear. She is driving a Jeep Liberty,
which is very funny. Every scene before that, like I could not give you the make, model, or year on that car, and I was looking for it when they were at the gas station. But
that's so
Chris
funny.
now goes to that same gas station, and he does a move that I've absolutely pulled now, having seen this movie, where somebody won't give you information, and he just starts tapping his money clip down as he talks to the mechanic. He's on the trail. He's always 2 steps behind his wife now, looking for her. And he's like, oh yeah, some crazy lady asked my daughter how to get to Silent Hill, and he's like, how do I get there? And he's like, man, you don't want to go there. There was a mine fire, and like there's fumes everywhere, like, and those fumes will kill you. Right as he lights a cigarette, and I thought, perfect movie joke. I don't know. It was very cute.
So I was talking about movies or scenes of this movie that look like a commercial. I think the mechanic scene was absolutely a scene to me that looked like an old I'd
say less of a commercial, more of a interstitial from Law and Order. Is what I wrote.
Okay, absolutely.
I think
it's kind of flat, boring TV filming.
Real world Chris stuff all looks commercially to me, which I guess maybe that's an intention.
It's probably the point to a certain extent, but
because it looks so like a normal world, and our main character spends most of this shit in like otherworldly dimension, like just upsetting.
Right.
Yeah. Are they trying not to do an accent, by the way, with him, or is he? Like I can't.
Both of them,
I can't tell what he's doing.
Rod is Australian, and I noticed now when it slips, and even though much better American accent than she's had before in prior films, but I think just before this, she did Man on Fire, which we're going to have a fun episode of that one.
yeah.
He's also like, I think he forgot how to not be Irish. So,
I just couldn't figure I legitimately couldn't figure out if, like, because it felt like some scenes he was intentionally trying to not sound Irish, and then, like, other scenes, it was blatantly obvious. It was obvious in all the scenes, but it was just, like, certain scenes he's trying and certain scenes he's not, and I was really confused.
I have a hard time because
like,
my copy I watched most recently was a French copy, so I couldn't tell you if they had, a vocal translation coach on set. I think they literally just, like, one with the French director being like, fuck it, just go for it. You sound American enough, whatever.
Yeah, who cares? I can't tell.
I just didn't harm me. Just was one of those things. Like, I didn't know if that was an intent. I was just very confused.
That's funny.
So Chris makes it to the bridge where they're supposed to have crashed out, but the cops are already there, and they go like, "Yeah, one of our officers is missing." And he meets. I know this is the character's name, played by Kim Coates from Sons of Anarchy fame. Plays Detective Thomas Gucci, which I kept writing down Detective Thomas Dolce and Gabbana.
That was the most distracting name. He's like, Gucci. Just Gucci.
Dude,
just
that name rocks, though. That's such a great movie name.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He agrees to take Chris into town. He's like, I'll take you into town, but like if your wife and kid are there, like I don't think they are. So he's also clearly hiding something, won't take his gloves off, which is also, it all becomes very concerning. But we get a nice little like tour through what the town looks like normally. Without being in this like hell world, otherworldly, fog ridden, like it just looks like any little town circa Back to the Future. And he even points out, he's like, "Oh, I have a long history with this town. Look, there's my father's barbershop, and it says Gucci Barbers." And I'm like, "Yeah, fucking Armani Barbers, dude."
That's where you go get a nice skin fade, and you just like you can hang out with the boys, drink some booze. Damn.
Yeah, fucking take place in a cult ritual murder of a child.
Yeah,
Hey, babe,
you know how small towns are. Small town America. We all know.
No.
This.
That's the other shop. It's down the street. It's called Good Cheese. It's a cheesemonger.
This is just they just drive into an average town in current day West Virginia. And
yeah,
they
there
just
you go.
drive through it and try to sort
before
it out.
Before the fentanyl was the real fucking killer.
Oh, that's what the real villain in Silent Hill is fentanyl. This is actually
fentanyl.
None of this was real. She was on a fentanyl trip the whole time.
Yeah,
no, remember they cut that out. They cut that out of the plot of this one. So back to Rose. She there's other. I honestly, so these aren't even monsters, but these like people in miners' gear. Actually, just as terrifying, if not more terrifying than monsters, because they're tracking her down.
Great looking. It's scary. It's scary. If you walk down to a hallway and you saw those guys, fuck that.
I actually saw a Reddit post because again, I didn't know much about the movie, so I went to Reddit and no, I didn't go, but like I randomly saw a Reddit post where people were complaining about the miners' gear that were like fans of the game. And I was like, why? This is like my favorite bad guy. They're just like guys that are lugging around pipes and beat up people. It's awesome.
Well, it's funny too because I was talking about, I guess maybe I'll get too into it, but the themes of the movie isn't so much just like the religious aspect, which we haven't really got to yet. But it's all just like all forms of hierarchy within this world. So it's not just the religion or the police, it's also industry. It's also and they kind of represent the industrial side of things, and everyone kind of covering up the abuse and trauma and all that kind of stuff.
Which,
That's
it goes twofold now as we go into the scene where not from the video games, but does, I think, capture the spirit of it. Rose locks herself, using the keys that she found, playing a video game, locks herself in the bathroom. And there's a shining clue hanging in the mouth of this contorted, formerly a janitor, like covered in barbed wire, seemingly like just this corpse that's really just rotting in one of the bathroom stalls. Yeah, I like I said, I called it the quote unquote disgusting creative liberty monster. Where it's not anything from the game, but it's definitely like, and it's wearing a name tag that says Colin, which will come into play later. But this disgusting fucking monster hanging out, and she has to muster up the courage. And again, props and credit to Rhoda Mitchell. I honestly hope we just get her on the podcast so we can just fucking talk about her movies. That'd be great.
You think we can get her? I think we can get her.
I think we can get her. I think she could be our biggest get, and then we can get married. And then,
Okay.
well, I don't know. I don't know if she'll say yes, but I think I make it convincing.
I mean, you have to
Right.
go on a few dates at least, you know.
I would pay for everything. I would love that. I would think it would be great. I really wouldn't move too fast. I would really just be, you know,
You would be a gentleman,
what was
and I know
what was
you
that
would be.
like though. Yeah. I don't think you guys understand that I do love her. It's not that I just think, you know, she's attractive. I do love her. So it's,
She's like, she's talking to her friends like, he just keeps asking me about phone booth and what it was like to make phone.
He won't stop talking
I
about
don't
phone booth.
understand.
it's just imagine like pouring the wine at the restaurant. So is it cool when you make Colin Farrell?
He just keeps asking me about Colin. I don't know what's going on with this guy. I think he wants to date Colin Farrell. Also.
Which he does.
Okay,
That's-
but I can't. I look, just because it's 2025, I don't think I should date both of them. You know, like I'm not trying to find a loophole. But anyways, the fucking miners, just skipping right ahead. The miners are trying to beat down the door, and she pulls the necklace from around her neck, and she begins to pray. And she doesn't pray to God, because she is praying to God in her mind, but what she's praying to is the image of this child in her locket. She doesn't have a cross around her neck; she has the locket, and then suddenly, as if it's like to her salvation, the world starts turning back into the rust and gross evil world, the other world.
Yeah.
Even though she's already in another world, it's Otherworld 2, where everything like, and I mean like I don't know. This is also another like this is kind of video game accurate. It's more so in 3, the way it looks, where everything's like the veneer of the world lifts up and everything starts being made out of
The
like,
rust
you know,
starts
This
to kind
was
of like
also
come up.
one of the
Wrought
more
iron and
disconcerting spots. Like it was hard keeping track sometimes of the multiple worlds, like which ones because like the bad guys being in that one, but there's also different bad guys in this one. Like it was just kind of interesting. Like it wasn't bad. It was just as a non-fan, wasn't sure where I was headed
Yeah.
with some of this stuff.
Yeah, there aren't really very many other humans in the games. You're dealing with monsters. You'll occasionally come across a person who comes off as touched, and you have to be like, well, if I ever come and see them again, like maybe the plot will advance. I don't know. But in this one, so she prays to her necklace, and that kicks into the Otherworld version too, where now though that monster Colin in the stall is alive and is trying to chase her, you know, and. This is where we get to Pyramid Head, right? This is like where he shows up.
Yeah, I think this is
Yeah, we're
about where we
just
get to
about it. It's, like,
Pyramid
right
Head
after
because this is where we get to the church, right?
No, that's like literally
That's
breaking
later.
the third act.
Oh,
It's
shit.
like literally like the third act. So it takes a minute.
Okay,
until we
so
get there.
around this time, the first appearance of Pyramid Head, I think I kind of zoned out for a little bit.
it can again if you don't have like a lot of familiarity with the games, you're constantly like kind of like evaluating like how accurate are we going here. She gets out of the room to avoid Colin the monster, the rapist janitor monster in the bathroom that's like contorted into this weird fucking disgusting like flicking his tongue out thing
Yeah.
crawling towards her. She gets to an elevator where Sybil rejoins her, and they lock themselves into an elevator or like some sort of like storage whatever fucking room as these like beetles are going everywhere, and these beetles have little like demon faces on them, and as we've seen they've killed all the miners in the miner gear.
Yeah.
And
I wish the CGI was better for those little beetle guys because I liked the design of them.
That was
in 2006 this was pretty fucking
I
It was
agree,
fine,
but
but it was like whatever. Like it wasn't. It kind of takes me out of it a little bit for sure.
yeah.
yeah. So and then we hear a dragging of a heavy metal scraping item, and then we're met, which is the character's name is the Red Pyramid, but everybody famously calls it Pyramid Head.
For obvious reasons.
When I heard the dragging, that was one thing I was kind of proud of because again, not having played the game, I heard the dragging metal. I'm like, that's Pyramid Head, right? That's got to be Pyramid Head. And it was just like,
Yeah.
wow. So it was super cool.
We are introduced to the Red Pyramid thing, which is supposed to be its name, but everybody famously, fan community has called it Pyramid Head. I follow the creator on Twitter who has said they've asked him like, what is your biggest regret in your career as like a concept artist, monster creator? He goes, the Pyramid Head. Like literally, I genuinely regret making that.
He made he made too cool looking of a character.
He's
So much
too
so that I
sick.
think
He was
literally,
cooking too hard.
It's also like one of those things where he's like, it's not that deep. I've always designed like weird fucked up like monsters. It's like Fangoria magazine, whatever. He's like, it's literally not that deep. And he's like, people keep asking me like, oh, but in Silent Hill 2 it represents James's desire to be punished. And he's like, yes. Good, cool. You figured it out. Why do you keep asking me?
It's got one level to it. It is his personal guy, but he also looks.
He just drew a cool looking guy who.
Listen, I drew him too cool. I drew him too sick.
He was cooking too hard.
And everybody, and also as you see in this movie, they got like the most yoked guy in the world to play him. They're and he's hot and he's cheeked up. So everyone is also very horny for this monster. Which you take 20 plus 25 fucking years of that and just dumping on somebody, and they're like, it's like asking fucking Harrison Ford about Han Solo. Like, I never want to talk about that ever again. Literally ever again.
Never ask me about him.
From his eyes, he's like, "Hey, can you talk about Pyramid Head?" Just like he wants to show himself. He's like, "No."
Was it cool? Was it cool when you designed Pyramid Head? Is that your idea? Yeah.
I feel for him.
This character.
So anyway,
very
important. Really fucking hot and really
he's cool. He's
Definitely
hot. He's jacked.
Like, frankly, like,
also, he's gonna stab you, and anybody who's a monster fucker is like, yes, daddy, yes.
Well, I mean, the fucking subtext is there as the giant sword comes into the elevator and just starts.
Yeah. Well, do you know
around.
what
it does? It does what in the elevator, Robbie?
The box.
Did you know that subtext is an anagram for butt sex?
What?
Oh my god! What the?
Not wrong.
Wait,
All right,
really
man,
is.
I gotta get out of
Holy
here.
Shit!
I gotta get out of here. You
Follow
fucked
the
up my whole
clues.
world.
Follow
You
the
fucked up my
money.
whole day.
This is crazy.
Patriots are in control. Okay, so going back to like the
I'm not
actual
gonna tell
beef
you
I
what
have.
day we're recording this on.
What are you talking about? This is every day is 2016 until we're dead. Basically,
What's your actual beef?
I have beef is that Pyramid Head is made for Silent Hill 2. He is, yes. Much like he said, like, yeah, you got it. You guys are really smart. It's a character that is dedicated to James Sunderland of Silent Hill 2, which is a very completely different plot from Silent Hill 1.
Oh,
like,
so
yes,
he is
but,
literally that guy's personal monster. Like he's
Yeah,
like
he's-
that guy's.
yes,
thing.
but he's so iconic, that they can't not put him in the movie. And
Yeah,
this is like something
like,
that I actually
even-
hate about adaptations is that they, like the Prince of Persia movie, which I hope we never do an episode on.
Oh
because
God,
it'll just
no!
Oh, now it's
That's
on
the most
streaming.
boring movie I've ever watched. Actually,
Adding
screaming
Prince of
slurs
Persia.
into the microphone for a good 3 hours. They do this thing that I hate, like they did in that movie. They're like, well, we have the rights to all of it. So like, hey, look, it's literally member berries all the way down. Where it's like, hey, remember
Right.
the outfit from Prince of Persia 2? And it's like, yeah, okay, but this is supposed to be the story of Prince of Persia 1. And they're like, I don't know. I hate the like, we just throw every bit of iconography at you.
it's
as
one
a,
of the,
like,
it's
oh,
one of
this-
those things where they go, well,
It's always
it
gonna be
has to
guys
be
of
in the
fan
game.
service.
It has to be in the movie because people expect it to be in the movie,
Yes.
and that's it. And that's as far as their thought goes.
Because I imagine it's like, so for Hunter, for you, like, again, you're like, yeah, why the fuck is this guy here? And I'm like, yeah, no, same. Why the fuck is this guy here?
No, I'm not even. No, I'm kind of the opposite though. I think if I don't know the history of Pyramid Head. Like I didn't know that was his. I just kind of riffing off of yours saying it was his personal guy. I didn't know it was literally his personal monster. So that's kind of cool. But
Yeah, he's
and I
an
can understand
executioner.
How that's not. I mean, it looks like
Yes.
it. I just
That makes sense.
I don't like that was one of the few characters like I really knew from Silent Hill. So it would feel weird to me as a guy who just is aware of Silent Hill and knows of it for him not to be there. Because even in 2006, like the thing I knew most about Silent Hill was Pyramid Head. 'Cause
Right.
He's the guy.
Yeah, it's-
in
I call
all
it
the
a-
stuff and all the.
I call it
ads.
Boba Fett syndrome. I call it Boba
100%.
Fett syndrome. Where sometimes
Absolutely,
Yes.
that makes
the
total
character
sense.
design is so fucking peak that you can't like. No, this is important. In fact, it's the backbone of everything. I'm like, not in this case. Literally not.
And then you see Boba Fett
He looks
in
real
Star
cool,
Wars,
though.
and he's there for 30 minutes or for 30 seconds, and he immediately
are we
gets
gonna
swallowed
get
by
a-
a worm.
Are we gonna get Book of Pyramid Head, the series?
Oh,
That'd
there
be
we go.
sick.
honestly, like, you fucking shut your mouth before they just do that. I swear to God.
I'm putting it out in the world because
We're speaking it out into existence.
Yoked Demon the series.
I mean, he's charming. He's also like not necessarily like a bad guy. He's just a monster.
He's just doing his job.
He's not a bad guy. He's just gonna cut you in half and chop
Yeah.
you
Rip your
out
skin
of a
off.
fucking elevator.
That's actually fuck. Do you guys just want to write the like Twilight style? Like let's desensitize this monster trope and be like, it's about a fucking 16-year-old girl falling in love with Pyramid Head. I'd be down.
well,
Yeah, Pyramid Head's just
while you were
in
getting
high
a
school.
drink or taking a restroom break, we had a little bit of a fanfic that will not be in the final cut of this. So we've already started, frankly.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry
Love that,
about
because
it.
if there's anything I hate, it's work. That's why we podcast.
All right, we got to move the plot along.
Yeah,
It ain't gonna move its damn ass self. So they survive the Pyramid Head encounter, but you know that Sybil is very low on ammunition. So like whatever they got to protect themselves is not much. They then now the school has gone back to normal. It's reverted back to normal, and they run back into Dahlia, who's being tormented by this weirdly religious girl named Anna, who's throwing rocks at her, just literally just throwing rocks at the fucking homeless woman in the corner.
This is the real where the dialogue really started standing out to me, because it's getting weird, like it's getting video game style, but also weirdly religious. Which, by the way, we can't. You thought we wouldn't cover a religious movie? Think again. We're only doing Catholic and religious movies around here.
Yeah, it keeps rearing its ugly head. No, this movie does come out in peak, like, pre-Reddit, but, like, internet atheism starting to, like, really take off.
Well,
like,
I mean,
everyone's beef with the fucking church, especially
Bill
Lou,
Maher's
Catholic
Religious,
Church.
I think, came out of same
Like,
year.
the same
so-
weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, we're introduced to this character Anna, who starts going on and on about like, well, some people are sinners and and they're like, what the fuck, you fucking crazy bitch. So like they decide to take her along, where they from the clues they've gathered at this school realize that like, well, the hotel is the next logical place to search for the child. So they make a break for it and go to the, or at least Rose does, like makes a break for it to go to the hotel and start seeing the little girl again, the in a blue dress version of her daughter, and confronts her. You know, after this is that scaffolding part that Hunter brought up earlier, where she has to like move along on beams and stuff like that. And I'm like, is this from the video game?
Yeah.
Like, no, it's literally just everybody had two.
It literally felt like it was a video game level.
It
like,
did feel like a video game.
I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair, going from like location to location already felt like a video game, so this felt like a sub part of that game.
Well, and I
that
guess
is kind of how the game works too. Is like you finish a horrifying experience and move on to the next location.
And this is where I kind of, again, my beef kind of comes in, where I don't think you needed the stuff to show them how they're getting from one set to another. I think you could kind of play with that and play with people's expectations a little bit and make it a little more disorientating, you know, and make it a little more confusing.
Yeah, which leads to like maybe my favorite scene in the movie is now we're as she's wandering, as Rose is wandering, it's intercut in montage between Chris in the same location. Like she's Rose is breaking down, and it's this constant, like they're in the same place but in different
realities,
planes of reality. Yeah. And he smells her perfume, and he just won't, like, he's not letting it go. He's like, I need to find my wife, and they're. I think the scene is like edited really nicely. The song that the choice is really like. I feel like it like that's almost more like what Robbie's saying. Where like use it as a jumping off point to kind of have this like almost esoteric, like vibes based cinema. You know, I wrote that in my notes more than anything is vibes based cinema, where I'm like, it is trying to just like absolutely set up a mood.
Well, and it's like Hunter was bringing up, you know, like old Giallo stuff, and Giallo's really good at that because Giallo, while it's very trashy and very purposely trashy, they do play a lot with just, hey, this shot looks cool. It doesn't necessarily make logical sense, but here's some red, here's some lights, here's some blood, and here's a knife, and you're just going to do with what you will with it, you know, and I wish there was more of that happening. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I don't know. So I think this scene like sticks out. It's I like it. This girl Anna mentions someone named Christabella, who we've brought up earlier, and again I thought her name very interesting. Christabella, being Christ and beauty
and beauty, yeah.
Yeah.
Another Italian name too.
Another Italian name as well. Yeah, exactly. So we don't meet her quite yet, but we get to the hotel where, Rose confronts this like goth-looking version of her daughter who does this like, I'm on fire, and then the child is on fire.
I hated this scene. Again, the acting didn't really bother me up until this because it felt very Universal Halloween Horror Nights acting.
Yes,
where it's the creepy girl tilting her head going, I know who you are. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, that was... I've mentioned it a few times, and sometimes positively, sometimes negatively, but there are definitely spots in this where you're just like, we're in a haunted house. Like a haunted house walkthrough of Silent Hill. This is the Universal Silent Hill experience.
So the sirens are kicking on again. The other world is about to come back into play now that she's interacted with this like demon version of her child, and they're booking it to the church. And you see that there's actually like a community.
This scene is actually my favorite scene of the whole movie.
If they wanted to shock audiences, and I wrote some notes on this one, like they fucking nail it. But go ahead.
But not even the stuff with Pyramid Head coming in and all that. I think the dialogue and the acting is very good here, and I think the cinematography is good. I think the impending doom that's starting to happen is really cool. I think like that stuff to me is the stuff that absolutely works when it's like them saying, oh, the darkness is coming, and them having this almost philosophical conversation and not knowing who to believe. And Sybil, is like, we have to get into this church, but also I don't really fully trust this lady. Like, I think all that stuff works insanely well, and I actually really like that
Stalker.
scene.
It's the closest it gets to the Stalker, I will say.
Yes.
Yeah. So as they're running to the church, Anna stays up. I remember, like, I actually had kind of umbraged this before. I'm like, I know she has to die. You know that she's like this weirdly religious, like kind of a shithead. She's like, I'm picking on a homeless lady. You're a sinner. Like, you deserve her misery. And then so Pyramid Head rolls up as the darkness is coming, but like the darkness cannot affect the church. The church has their sacred seals everywhere, which I also wrote down like like it's a crucifix with a fucking swastika. Like, of course it is. Like, fucking of course it is.
Sometimes obviousness works.
Yeah, and then but Anna, she's so caught up in her puritanical. Sorry, I literally have the encyclopedia. Manichean cult, which is apparently like a thing that like is supposed to be a hodgepodge of like every religion, and it comes from like some weird thing of like from Persian culture allegedly, where they're like, well, we want to fuse Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism, and Judaism, like all into one thing, as well as other paganism. Like, if we just put it all together, which I might be a Manichean, but like that's what their religion is based off of. But like nothing can get into the church, and then Pyramid Head rolls up and does the most like disgusting thing in the world. He first rips Anna's clothes off her body, grabs her by the chest between her boobs, and just, I wrote a good old-fashioned degloving of the entire body. Rips her fucking flesh off.
Oh yeah, it was gross.
So me
and lobs it at the church door, just like pure unadulterated 2000s sacrilege. At this point, we are so fucking fed up with puritanical Christianity and the what's another like name for it? I know there's another big time name for it.
Evangelical, sure. No, but me and her were talking about, I wish the skin ripping scene, I wish that was more practical, because when he first grabs her chest and twists the skin, that looks really good. But when he actually rips the skin off, you can kind of see all the like the artifacting and this is CGI, and it's
I tried to get my best Blu-ray copy.
I saw
and
too
I'm still
many
like
pixels on that corpse, and I was taken out of the scene.
Yeah. Because
it's just such a horrifying thing to fucking see. Like, it's just like
and conceptually, it's very horrifying, and it is like it really sets the stakes of what they're dealing with as far as Pyramid Head is concerned.
Yeah, but he can't get into the church, and he lobs her fucking blood-soaked skin sack. Like,
I thought that was funny.
So like, that shit is like, it's like, okay, like again, I know artists use subtlety, and they're all cowards.
Yes.
So as these two, as Sybil and Rose enter the church, like they're all like, no, outsiders. We don't let outsiders in. This shit is also against our religion. And I think, like maybe like one of the best like constructed like scenes that's like we're setting up something to come later. Sybil fires her gun off. She only had one bullet left, but they're also dumb. They don't realize that like the slide sticking back means that it's empty, and she very like casually like slides it back into place. So at least they know that she has a gun.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just really like that because like again, Sybil is the best character in this movie. She's the most like realized. She's like, I know the situation sucks and doesn't make any sense, but I'm like locked the fuck in. This will come in handy later. As long as they know that I have a gun, they're not going to fuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is also the scene where they really start hammering home the themes of the movie of as far as like this is about a mass cover up of trauma and abuse and child abuse and like
It's a very
everything.
2000s theme, like it's the church covering up child abuse. Like,
But it's not. But it's not just the church, as I was.
No,
saying
no,
earlier.
it's not just the church,
It's
but
the
I'm saying
church.
it is
it's the jobs. It's every basically adult within this realm. They're all working together to cover up these like horrific things that have happened.
That they absolutely 100% are guilty of doing. There's no like.
There's no
They're
question
also-
about it. They all are involved, and they all know it's happening. And it's the government, it's the police, it's the industry, it's everything.
Yeah, and they're living in their best version of reality is purgatory, which is this like other world that Rose and Sybil are trapped in. But then their hell is always constantly coming for them to like reap and claim them. Anna's mother is like, "No, my Anna, like we need to say a prayer," and then Christabella, who we're introduced to now, immediately says like, "Christabella knew our laws, she knew our practices, she deviated for just a moment, and now she's in hell." So like that's the fucking price. You've been literally telling a grieving mother that like your daughter who was just degloved for abusing a homeless woman.
she made her mistakes. She made a couple mistakes
like,
there.
You
and then
understand
she had
that
her
like this,
skin ripped
yeah.
off.
You really see their psychology of like if you deviate for even a moment from our very like obsequious fucking Puritanism, that you not only will die but you are in hell now.
Yeah. And you belong
You're not going to
there.
die. You're not going to just die, but Pyramid Head is going to take your skin off.
Yes.
And you probably deserved it.
Yeah, I wrote like subtle parallels to Catholicism in my notes.
Yeah, man, I was
That
really
should
sitting
be
there, I
that
was
should
like,
be in
wow,
the
this
notes
is
of our
so
entire
subtle.
podcast.
Yeah, no
Subtle
kidding.
Catholicism.
Honestly, if you read between the lines, and it takes a good like fucking 9 seasons, like it's there.
I think these guys are all secretly Catholic.
Whoa.
I think that's what's happening.
Wow.
So they reveal their whole beef to Rose, saying like there's this demon that's trapped us here and is tormenting us, and if we deviate, the demon gets its way. We can't let it win. And then they know that Rose knows that there's something at the hospital. Like I didn't even remember how she fucking arrives at the fact that like I have to get to the hospital. That's where that's where the demon they're like, oh, that's where the demon lives. That's where she's like housed and encased. And they're like, you want to deal with her? That means you want to make deals with the demons. We have no use for you. But she's like, yeah, but if I can, bargain or barter with it, like I can maybe end this. So they, Christabella agrees to send Sybil and Rose, and then a small team of miners, and as well as goes with them to be like, look, we can maybe use these outsiders as a tool to like end these end times. They make their way to the hospital, and again, okay, I know again you don't like the video game stuff. Like I think it's cute, it's clever, but it's also practical in its own game world. Mm-hmm. They get to the elevator that's going to take them to the shitty, scary part of the hospital, and there's the map, and it's the same map from the video game.
That was one of the most video gamey things. I assume I was like, this has
the
to be
memorization
from the video game. She's like left, right, left.
I credit the Silent Hill games for teaching me how to instantly read northwest, east, south. Like if I'm outside of my house, I can tell you where north is, no matter where you stick me. But also, like how people like some people like even they're driving like make a left and they have to like literally look at their hands and make like the L and like, oh, that's my left. Like I've learned like right, left, and positioning. Like I've just gotten very good at map reading without GPS even. Because of these games, I thought this is actually a cute nod. It definitely like makes sense. Like she's got nothing to write it down with. It's the literally
Totally,
like
and she has to memorize it. I actually didn't mind this too much. As far
I
as,
didn't mind it. I was just like, this has to be from a film.
Right.
Like this. If this isn't, this is insane. Like
it's not literally in the game. It's fun. It's not
serious?
literally in the game. It's from the perspective of somebody playing the game. Where you're like,
That's okay. I guess
I'm going to go left, right, left, right, left. Like, you're looking at
when
how
I
you're gonna
say
have to
from the
navigate
game,
this.
you're right. You're exactly right. That's exactly the image I had in my head. It's like this would be me sitting on the couch, being like left, right, like ADDing over a freaking map in a game.
I would just read Game Pro.
Because Rose dropped her necklace and Christabella picked it up, she tries to confess her sin. She's like, I'm sorry, like I must admit, like we've lived a life as scavengers. Like I did take this from you. Like I'm gonna give it back because like it seems very sentimental, and you're going on this mission for us. And as she hands her the locket, it opens up, revealing a picture of Sharon, who looks exactly like the demon they're all terrified of. And she immediately does this thing, which I also do to this day, which is like you do the little like devil horns point at somebody.
Oh yeah.
She immediately accuses Rose of actually being like in cahoots with the demon already, and they all switch on her. And Sybil gives us what I think is the best "Go On Without Me" scene. Like it's in my top 5 at least, of getting her into the elevator, gonna drop her down. Like they have the pipe holding the doors shut, and she does the whole like "get your kid out of here" and just pulls the pipe and sends her straight into the depths of hell, while fending off
beaten with pipes. Just got her ass kicked.
So brutally, yeah, and she also
I thought she
fires
was
her
dead
gun.
there. I thought she was done. It was like, oh
Same.
my god, that's a way to go out.
And she has the gun drawn on them, fires it. Like she knows that it's empty, and she knows this is her sacrificial moment, and they proceed to beat the absolute living fuck out of her.
They really let her have it.
Honestly, like
I mean,
without showing it, as bad as like fucking Casino, like just
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we established Silent Hill says ACAB, so
yeah.
including
So-
Sybil, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I definitely.
I'll
Unfortunately,
never
she's like,
forgive
again,
them.
She
Yeah,
is the
I'll
best
never forget
character of the
reason.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So aside from all the hell stuff, just to get back to Chris and Detective Armani and Dolce and Gabbana.
Hey,
Hey. Sorry. How do I say this? So he goes to like a Catholic orphanage and realizes that like there's a girl who looks just like his daughter who was sent to the orphanage like 30 years prior. So he's convinced that it's Sharon's quote unquote mother, and he's like, she looks just like her. It must be her mother. And Detective Gucci sits him down and tells him, he's like, hey man, like that town is full of all kinds of fucking bullshit. We put it all behind us. It was a tragedy. He takes off his gloves and reveals that he has burns on both of his hands that are like horrific scarring burns on both of his hands. I mean, all right. Like just that's like he's on the case,
I just love your response.
We also get the line though. We also get the line though that mother is God in the eyes of every child, and I think that's important.
That is a good line.
That's a good line.
Yeah, because that ends up being the climax line of the whole.
Definitely
movie,
kind of the
basically.
thesis, yeah.
Yeah. Rose gets down into the basement, and then we're introduced to another iconic. I gotta stop saying iconography. Iconic Silent Hill monster, but the nurses. The nurses are present in every game.
Yes.
And
Because,
the
let's just
nurses,
be real,
I think the
hospitals
nurses
are
cool.
terrifying places for shit
Yes.
to go down.
Yes. No, and I think the nurses actually, I think they did a good job with the designs and the like actual creature in the movie. I think they did a good job with them.
They're as 1-to-1, and at the time, like that's the most like highly detailed rendered version of them.
Yes.
They're also all portrayed by actual dancers, like actual dancers, contortionists, and like this is
so they're actually doing like the weird body movements and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're all people who've like studied movement, and are all.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
This is again like the positive version of the Universal Horror Nights type thing. Like this is the thing. Like this is cool. This is really cool. It's a real effect. It's not a CG thing. It's awesome. I do like that.
Nothing but respect for that. So
truly.
they have a nice like you need a light to get through here, but the light does draw them. Again, another video game thing, but I'm like they don't mention it until this point, and I think it's very like it works. This is her last like creature confrontation.
Yeah.
Is to have to like sneak through. She realizes if she turns off the light and she moves slow enough and quiet enough, well, she fucks up, and then the nurses are so deranged, and they're also blind. They have no eyes, they have no mouths, they have no features. They can only hear, but they're also all holding scalpels and knives. All start slashing each other, and she has to like essentially like navigate through this mob of nurses who are all like doing these weird twitchy movements, and I don't know. I think it's great. I think it's like maybe the best homage. Like just like look, we have to put the nurses in. Let's at least make a set piece that's just only about them. They're not. Just
Yeah, and
wandering
it's
around.
only about them, and I think the way they all take themselves out is really cool. Again, there's a lot of bits and pieces of this movie I really do enjoy.
Yeah.
I think it's just a lot of the in-between stuff I don't really enjoy as much. I prefer the big set pieces. I think they did a good job
Yeah.
with like a lot of the set pieces.
I will say from the pretty much the church onward is where I got a lot more interested in the movie in general, and like I was more locked in. Leading up to this point, I was very like, okay,
they really push it as long as possible before they get to the church, which is crazy because in my mind, in my memory, I always imagine like that's just the halfway point is to get to the church. It's like no, it's like that's
like the
into
climax.
That's like the third act. Yeah.
So she runs to the end of the hallway after like memorizing her path, and then blows open the double doors, and it just takes us to a white screen, which is I mean, hey man, it's an info dump. It's here's the answer to everything.
Yeah, and I definitely checked out at the. I was just kind of like, all right, let's
I was
go.
really
Let's go.
confused at this part. What was happening for a bit? I was like, oh, whoa, they lost me, and then they got me back there. And when it became a period piece for a second. Like, here we go.
I'll say this may be the most effective this scene has ever been on me because I've also in the past like always like kind of tuned out or kind of been like, well, this is different, but I'm also like, they're still adapting. I don't know. I also wrote down in my notes, like, I don't know how I was ever confused by this plot. It is pretty amazingly straightforward at this point.
Straightforward.
Oh, yeah.
So we are given this entire flashback scene, which goes on for minutes and minutes and minutes, where the demon, who's using the voice of Sharon, and Alessa, her other half, explaining that in the 70s, this town was like really run by the church, and like anybody who had any kind of deviances from their Puritanism was not only like bad or shunned as a sinner, but like literally considered demonic. And because Dahlia, who we've now seen, like was like just a regular woman, and is the very beautiful Deborah Kara Unger, had a daughter out of wedlock, and that's her only sin is that she had a daughter out of wedlock and didn't want to.
Yo, I get it.
Rat out the husband, which again, I also think like maybe leads to more like insidious insinuations is that
again I think child abuse is a very major theme of the movie, and I think that's on purpose. I think again a lot of this is it's all covering up the trauma and the abuse that hierarchies kind of put on younger generations and children and all that kind of stuff.
And we see the revelation. So like all the stuff from the school that we saw that had like witch written on it, where like all the clues were living. Like the fact that like just because she doesn't know who her father is, they didn't just deem that she's a sinner, but that she's a witch, like, or that she's something unholy. And
she's
the
literally
also,
of the devil. Yeah.
Yeah, the mother refuses to give up the identity of the father, which again, like you're almost wondering, I'm like, does that mean though that maybe Alessa, her original daughter, is some sort of messianic figure? She can't like say, like they take this thing that they worship, which is this like very perverted version of Christianity, and like because she can't reveal it because it is unbelievable that an immaculate conception has happened, you know, if not like maybe she was just a drunk teenager. It's like not that big a deal, you know what I mean? So it's
yeah.
You never get a definitive answer as to why the father won't be revealed, but the fact that like something exists outside of their norm in this religious community, you know. So, and then also we're introduced to the fact that like, the janitor was abusing her because like, if everybody in this town abandons this child because they don't fit neatly into their puritanical view, like that's another sin on top of that is the fact that she got, you know, you're left to infer without directly saying that she was molested by the janitor.
But it's that's also very clearly obvious.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, she says though, like, you know, like, do you know how cruel this world is when you leave a little girl alone? You know, like
yeah.
Jesus Christ, yeah. And then they've now convinced, like, in order to stop these abuses and this like exiling of your daughter, let us put her through a purification ritual. And Dahlia agrees to it because unaware of what it entails, you know, and you know takes them to this very like Eyes Wide Shut style hotel where everybody's. I mean, like it's like this
is absolutely Eyes Wide Shut.
The fact that like you think that these are the good guys. These are the people telling you they're the good guys, and like just let us purify your daughter, and like she'll be able to live amongst us.
Don't worry about it. She'll be chill, dude.
Yeah, and then they don't let her in, and that also is like her. I think her immediate red flag. She knows that something's wrong. Is that Dahlia knows that something is wrong? Is that they're not going to let her witness whatever this ritual is, and the ritual is purification by fire, where they voluntarily take a 7-year-old girl and slowly burn her over a coal pit to purify her of the sins of this world, which disfigures her immediately. And in her writhing, and from the heat, a chain link breaks, and the fire that burned the entire town in the first place came from this ritual, which she fell through the floor and into the basement. Hence why, like, I think the hotel was like an important part of it all too. Like, school is where she got picked on. Hotel is where she was ritually abused, and then the hospital when they try to save her. So the fire gets started. Half the fucking town's population dies in this horrific coal mining fire. They take this like burned corpse, and that's where Officer Gucci comes in. He's the first one. He burned his hands trying to take her out of this contraption where the church was going off the fucking rails, quite literally. And this is actually very simple. So while she waited in this like, clean room because most of her body is burned horrifically, she's just filled with so much anger and hate at the world, at the church, at her own mother, that a demon uses this as an opportunity. This demon that operates against the church, like, uses this opportunity to be like, let's make a pact to get our revenge over a 30-year span. Where
and then you get the nice blood orgy scene.
Yeah. The apocalypse, as far as this church is concerned, has happened.
Yeah.
There is no world outside of Silent Hill, and they're like the last, 50, 60 people who are alive. So
wait, is this also when this scene happens? Is this when what's her name just goes, oh fuck? Because I wrote down, I love that line.
She has a couple of very strategically fucks, which is very funny.
Yeah. And just for her to look at it and go, oh fuck. It's like, it's so stupidly simple that I'm like, that's actually the most effective line you could have written there.
It's genuinely horrific. You've seen all these like monsters and weird fucked up ways for people to die, but you guys are like, oh, all this happened because this church needed to burn a fucking 7-year-old to death.
Right.
We had to do it. I mean, it's, you gotta.
Can you blame us?
Jeez.
Gosh, nobody has any standards anymore.
How will we spawn a pyramid head guy if we don't do this?
So let me just ask both of you guys. Robbie, I don't know if you got far enough in Silent Hill 1 to get to Lisa, the nurse in red. And Hunter, what did you guys think about that character just being slid in there real quick in this flashback?
It was weird. It kind of came out of nowhere for me. There was enough weird stuff in this movie where it didn't throw me off too much, but it was just kind of odd.
I did get there because I beat Silent Hill 1, but I beat it when I was 12 or 13, so it was like a long time ago. In the movie, I think it's a little jarring, but I don't think it's bad. I think it's just a little jarring, which again, I'm fine with because the movie is kind of playing around with the surreal and kind of otherworldly kind of stuff. So it really doesn't take me out of it one way or the other.
Okay, because I was wondering, because I'm like, it kind of does for me because I'm now watching it knowing that Lisa is a fan favorite character, and they couldn't just not use her,
right?
Even though they
so it's a pyramid head situation.
It definitely does read as someone they almost felt like they had to put in there, not knowing much about that.
In the original Silent Hill, she's the only ostensibly innocent, you want to say, character. Even any of her wrongdoings, why she's stuck there is very circumstantial. It's her boss was this insane doctor. She just didn't have a choice, but she also was in charge of Alessa, the Dahlia's actual daughter, who's been rotting in a hospital bed, but still staying alive through demonic power for 30 years. In the game, she has the most. In all of Silent Hill, the most notable death scene, because you're already attached to her being so innocent, but she's infected with something, and it doesn't matter, it's gonna kill her, and it plays, I might even send Hunter the song, just edit this in there, it plays the most heartbreaking song where you have to watch her die, and she dies by blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming from her scalp, and covering her face red, while she's just kind of hoping that you'll hug her and hold her one last time before she dies. Because she knows that there's no getting out of this clean, and it's it's just very heartbreaking because you watch the only innocent person in all of this die for no reason other than just wrong place, wrong time.
Save me from them, please, Harry.
closer.
And I think they couldn't resist like throwing her in there. So it's just by witnessing Alessa and this horrific thing, she's kind of like damned and condemned to like sitting and waiting in this room with her eyes taken out and her like, constantly crying blood. Yeah. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I could rather just do without, either do it justice or don't
don't do it at all.
Do it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like it hurts. It's like it's and it plays like a very sad song by a very sad sounding song by Kari Yamaoka, which really like it's just the game and the world of Silent Hill is just designed to
bum you out.
Drain you. It's a day. They're very deliberate day ruiners.
Right.
Look at it. Yeah. But sorry to go ahead now. Rose makes a pact with this demon, to let's give me my revenge and I'll get you out of here. So,
and then that's when we get into the nice blood orgy.
Go ahead. Feel free to take over. I mean,
it's a really cool. Again, it's one of those things where I get it. The CGI was good, especially in 2006. I think the CGI takes a lot of the impact out of this scene because I think, and the camera angles aren't as interesting. I think because they are being so reliant with the CGI. I don't think it's as interesting as it could have been if they had to work around and think of different ways to represent what's happening to people there, rather than just go, well, we could just throw CGI barbed wire, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's a cool before we get to the barbed wire,
yeah.
she returns to the church and her outfit now. So something I will say, another like behind the scenes thing. In every scene, she's wearing different clothes because her clothes change with what's going on in the story. So she starts with the jacket. She has the blue top and gray pants. So she has a very like blue, gray, almost neutral. The more motherly she comes off, the more blue her clothes are. And then now, as we see, she goes deeper and deeper into hell. Like in every scene, almost every shot you see her in. It's in the special features. You can see like they have an entire wardrobe just dedicated to Rada, where like in every scene her clothes are a slightly deeper, darker shade, where it like constantly builds up to this point now where she's in this completely red top, red. She's already got blood spattered on her face and like red skirt, and Christabella stabs her in the chest just to be done with her. Like, okay, you killed the demon, you did what we needed, and stabs her in the chest, but that blood leaks out and opens a portal for the demon, who they never I think really give a name to. You just know that it's Alessa's demon.
It's just a demon,
and the demon. So Alessa rises out of the other world, and then so she's like a full grown woman who's like, burned it, like she's like smirking the whole like I get my revenge, and also we learned that Sharon is her daughter. Essentially, like she's through demonology like spawned a daughter who's only the good left in her because she's abandoned everything good.
Yeah. That's right.
So that's who the daughter.
It's like a split personality situation.
Yeah, that's the daughter who she's been pursuing this whole time. Is this all the good left over from Alessa?
Which I think is a little convoluted, if I'm being honest.
It's also
that was
the only thing of the plot that they actually kept from the game, where it's like, you just have to like understand the demonology that you can give birth to somebody if you separate that from yourself. Yeah. So again, now we get my friend being like, I've never seen a Hellraiser movie, but I think I have now.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, when that sequence happened, I was actually gonna ask you guys, like, it very much felt Hellraiser, so I guess I'm not alone.
Yeah, it's like here's your blood orgy, and also like again going back to that 2000s, like we all really like wanted this after watching people telling us like, no, Jesus wants us to bomb Iraq. Like it felt really nice to just like watch all these people get exactly what they deserve by being
shit
fucking
on,
wrong. Yeah, by like all the abuse they've done to children and like all the evangelical puritanism, like missing the point of their religion entirely, like being like, you all deserve to be ripped limb from limb, and including Christabella, which I mean, I don't know. How do you guys feel about the fact that the barbed wires go up into her?
I was shocked
groin.
when it started. I'm like, oh no, this is going to be an interesting. Oh, they're doing that, huh?
I mean,
okay.
I kind of again, I appreciate that. I appreciate that they went so full blown with that, rather than pussyfoot around it. No pun intended. It's
pussy barbed wire around it.
Pussy barbed wire around it. It's But again, I really believe this, and I think the CGI does just take a lot of the impact out of that final scene, out of that big
It's
climactic
CGI, but
scene.
the blood is actual like squibs. So like there are people like being like actually showered with, and then we
Yes.
see the demon who's taken on the form of Child Alessa is dancing in the blood of the blood orgy. Like I think that's why she got the job. They're like, we're gonna do some gross sick shit. And she's like, oh,
and,
no,
and she's like, yeah, throw it at me.
for a enterprising 7 or 8 year old. Work, girl, work. Like
Yeah,
that's-
absolutely.
yes,
Make your
yes,
money.
Yes, they do deserve
Slay.
to die. Fuck them.
Slay,
Fuck
bitch.
the ugly ass kids. So I mean, okay, so like we're there. Like Alessa gets her revenge, and it's hollow, and it just like they get returned. She has killed every member of this church in brutal, horrific ways, or she sent them out into the night, which they'll only be killed by her other. Like she finally gets her revenge, kind of putting an end to it.
Oh, Sybil's dead,
And-
by the way. We didn't actually mention that she
Oh
got burned
fuck!
alive.
I know.
Oh,
'cause it
that's
actually was
right,
very
yeah.
upsetting. Yeah.
I feel bad. I feel bad we kind of glossed it, but yeah, she dies in the kind of a lame way, unfortunately.
It is kind of a lame
After-
way. I
It's
agree.
horrific. It's meant to just
It's
upset
horrific,
you.
but it's like it sucks.
But I think
She
that's
just, like,
that Lynn says
got her
like
ass
you want
beat.
them to die. She dies before Rose gets back, so Rose
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
even
she-
get to see her die. But that for the audience again, I think that's one of those like they insert that for the audience because like what we're about to show you, I don't want anybody going like violence isn't the answer. No, violence is not only the answer; it's the solution.
It works. It worked.
It worked, yeah. It was
Violence
suddenly all this-
worked again.
So Rose gets Sharon, her adopted daughter, who is all the good parts left of Alessa, and she's all this horrific shit is going on around him. She's trying to tell her like, close your eyes, don't look at it, close your eyes, don't look at it, just stay with me, stay with me. And the demon approaches Sharon, and because she opens her eyes and looks at her, she takes it into herself as well. So now even the last good part of Alessa, aka Sharon, is now inhabited by this demon whose bloodlust is truly unending, and the world goes back to alternate reality Silent Hill, just the regular fog covered version of it, and the only person spared aside from Rose and Sharon / Devil is Dahlia Gillespie, going like, why wasn't I taken? Why was I thought she was mad at me, like I thought my daughter would want me dead. And we get to the repeat of the line, which I really do think like sells the entire point of why this movie has a predominant female cast. He goes, mother is God in the eyes of every child. Like, yeah, as much as she hates you, she still feels this like empathy for you as her ostensible creator.
Yeah.
This one who carried her to life, brought her into life, and unfortunately was manipulated into this situation. Like, that is she attains forgiveness, but that's only in sparing her life. She's still trapped in the endless purgatory of what she did to her kid.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got like this is what I'm saying, like this shit like hit me like way fucking harder, where I'm like, there's a lot going on, and it's like you kind of have to get figurative.
And then mother
yeah.
and daughter, I guess, are then trapped in purgatory because they show the end where Sean Bean's on the couch and hears the door open,
And
he's like, "Oh."
she's trying to contact him, and he just only hears static.
Yeah, she took the devil out of the town and is now releasing it into the world, but like she can never really get home to her former life. Like they're all too fucking changed from this shit. And I will give this movie like the credit. Like I do actually really like this ending. I like the fact that like you
I agree.
cannot return. You
I
cannot
like
return
that,
from
actually.
Silent
Yeah.
Hill.
No, I agree.
what's-
I think it's actually kind of a risky ending for them to take for such a mainstream big budget movie, and to kind of end it on not necessarily a bummer, but to end it on a question on your life itself, and if you can go back from these horrific things, or if once you learn the truth of things, can you actually be the same again?
Yeah.
That's where the movie started, was the like, what is this horrific truth about our adopted daughter? And once she found it out, like, and also like everything she had to do to like, she Rose is not without sin in that she like sacrificed all these people to make a deal with a fucking demon to like get them out of there.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
She truly would. There's nothing she wouldn't do to save her daughter, which I think is like that's the irony in that like both Sharon and the demon like choose to stay with Rose rather than Dahlia, because like even though Dahlia is the natural mother, the fact that like the person who acted the most motherly towards them they will stay with, but they've also like condemned by being with them. You know, it's a fuck. Like he's like you want to search your head for a way to win, and honestly the most realistic answer too, though, being that like this movie was successful in the $50 million budget. I think it grossed like 110 million, which is like
that's pretty
called
good.
a success. You doubled your money. That's a fucking success.
That's pretty good.
And which led to a sequel that we will hopefully never discuss on this podcast.
I don't want to watch it.
But the setup being that in a rare move by not killing Sean Bean in a movie in fucking 2006.
Oh shit!
Sure.
You're
A
right.
guy famous for dying and everything. They were setting up to do a Silent Hill 2, which would have echoed the game Silent Hill 2 a little bit more by having it be Sean Bean as the main character searching for his missing wife,
got it.
which is the starting plot of Silent Hill 2, the video game. Yeah. So I was like, on one hand, I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, okay. I just remember, like, for the longest time, I had a problem with this where I'm like, because the game's plot was so ingrained in my head and I had to read so many, before YouTube, message board theories, like, try to be like, but it doesn't make sense. I'm like, oh, no, it's actually just it's actually so simple that now that I've spent enough time away from the game that I'm like, it actually makes a lot of sense.
It's almost too stupidly simple at times. That
Yes.
again, I think I was searching for more of a, like you were saying, like a more esoteric, a little more. I wish it was a little more all over the place. I guess I wish it was a little more experimental. I wish it was a little more.
I get that. I still feel like it was pretty fucking experimental for 2006. Because like
For
I think a lot of
2006
people-
and a big budget video game movie that's a franchise, I think it's as experimental as you're going to get. But I think that world,
while
and,
still paying more homage than the last fucking survival horror game that got a film adaptation.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, I think
For sure.
like, I still think that was it Resident Evil Apocalypse came out before this even. So it's like,
Yes.
we've got 2 Resident Evil
God,
movies.
wow.
Yeah.
So,
We'll
but
get
it's
into
but
those
it's
on
one of
another
those things.
episode.
I guess because I had so much. There's so much promise with Silent Hill as a whole thing, you know, and so it's like I guess I kind of wish they would have just went, fuck it, let's do our own thing here, you know.
Sure, yeah.
But
Yeah.
what can you do? You're working with studios. You're working with so many moneyed interests that it's hard to kind of do that. And I understand that, and that's why I think this movie has good intentions. And so I don't fault the movie for that necessarily.
No, not at all. And I like I said, the fact that like, you know, coming off the success of like the highest grossing film in France's history to be like, what are you doing next? Is like, I want to make Silent Hill a thing, and I want to like do an homage. And like, I think that'll be the most interesting part of this episode. The fact that we all kind of like, I was so elated at the fact that they 1-to-1 recreated things that I remembered, and you guys being like, that's actually my biggest problem. Like, that like lends itself to being an interesting work of art ultimately. You know,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will say this. I will, like I said before, if they hadn't done that stuff, it would have been forgettable. And I think that having my opinion on it is, I don't need to revisit it. I don't have that attachment to it like you do, Sauce, but I don't hate it. I just don't think it's necessarily good, but I also think it's not boring. There were parts of the beginning, it took a little while to wind up, but it didn't really bore me, which is cool. So I'm in. I'm glad we got to see it.
Yeah, so much like when we did World's Greatest Dad, where me and you didn't like it, but by the time we got done talking about it, do you feel like a little more like attached to it, or do you feel like there's,
I wouldn't say I feel
a little more? It's a little more
attached to it.
substantial, perhaps.
This movie's better than World's Greatest Dad.
Nice.
As far as like
guess.
in
I
my,
guess.
I will say in my, if I had to rate it as far as like would I rewatch it? I don't know if it's made better than that movie, but I think it's definitely like, I'd say none of the horror scenes in this movie are as that give me as much of a shiver down my spine as that kid does in World's Greatest Dad. But this it's definitely not one I'd go back to necessarily. I could see if it was released on my birthday weekend and was made for me, that it would be my annual tradition, but for me it's not so much.
Yeah, I've had a tumultuous relationship with it where I'm like, I loved it and then I hated it and then I hated it and then I hated it and then I loved it, and now like I especially like, I think I finally like appreciate it for what it is, and it only took 20 years, you know. So,
and I'll say I think I definitely have much more of an appreciation for this movie now, and even talking about it, I think back and I go, you know, this movie actually does have like, it nails the atmosphere very well. It nails the vibe very well, and it is kind of a bummer, and it's weird, and it's for again a movie that was saying it doesn't take that many risks, it does also take a few risks that you don't expect from a movie of this era, of this budget.
Yeah,
and
it's
all
just
that kind
really
of stuff.
trying to weird out and gross out its audience. Where I'm like, I think it makes it. I know like people have thrown out the term like elevated horror a lot, being like, oh no, but it's like a horror movie you can take seriously. I'm like, I don't think you have to take this seriously, but you have to be like, fuck, this shit is fucking weird and gross. And it's like my big surprise is I felt like last Halloween when I screened it for my friends, you know, the one who hadn't seen it before, she's like, I'll kind of always respect that movie for just being so fucking weird. And I'm like, yeah, there you go. Like someone who has like no attachment to video games or Silent Hill at all. Like what a wonderful like interpretation that like it's out there, you know?
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't boring. It took some chances, and I it's not forgettable, and that's a lot of video
Kind of the
game
highest
movies,
praise
they
you can
were-
give a
they
lot
are
of modern
forgettable.
movies.
Well, I mean, video game movies. I'd say video game movies like they're forgettable. Like all the Resident Evil
almost
movies
all of them are
just fall, like are one big movie to me. Like all the Resident Evil movies I've seen, I couldn't tell you the plot of any specific one.
No, not at all. Not at all.
They just meld
And
together.
I put this one at a close second behind the original Mortal Kombat as like that is an actual solid quote unquote video game. adaptation,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah,
It's up
like,
there.
a close second. I mean,
I'd
almost
Mortal
give them both
Kombat
the
will
gold
always
medal.
be my top level of video game movies. So
It's because ultimately that movie's fun, and I don't think Silent Hill is necessarily fun, but it is
Yeah.
like deranged in a way that I can respect.
Mortal Kombat does rule though. Like
It does.
That
That'll be a
movie-
Patreon episode once we got that up and running.
Mortal Kombat is a movie where they go, "Hey man, do you like the video game? What if we did everything you know about the video game?"
I'm saying I want to hear your being like, you know what really didn't work for me is that they adhered too strongly whenever Reptile showed up and they used the audio from the game and go Reptile. Like, I mean, for him to be like, as a cinematic endeavor, I don't think it actually works for me that they fucking use the fucking theme song.
Oh yeah.
That's why I was, like, getting madder. I'm like, what else do you fucking want?
Goro in the balls.
Well, honestly, can I tell you? Can I tell you? Like, that's maybe the most like synergistic scene I've ever seen. Is that like Johnny Cage has to do Ballbreaker, Goro has to be in it. It's fucking big puppet Goro man, and he does Ballbreaker on Goro. Like that felt like they not only understand what this is, they get it and appreciate it, and are like giving it to you. You
Yes.
know? Like,
And then the soundtrack
These two
rocks.
things have to be in here. We're gonna give them to you at the same time.
And the
Yeah, or
soundtrack,
even
the
the fact that you're
soundtrack
like,
is either '90s techno or death metal, and you're like, this is the best game. This is the best movie.
Hey,
ever.
wait.
Oh,
hey, is this
best
fucking
game
movie about us?
And then they fuck it up with Annihilation, and you go, all right, never mind.
Nah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, no, we used all of our ideas in this one. We didn't have backup ideas. We didn't even think people would like it. It's literally just a job. Well, even that one.
That was Silent Hill.
That's the.
So anyway,
Sorry, I want to go
Silent
back to Mortal Kombat because we don't have an episode for it yet. But
yeah.
it's like when they were doing the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, the entire movie reeked of like, we're not going to show you anything in this one because we're saving it for the next one. And I hate that shit. And it's like
I hate that shit
almost kind of
more
like
than anything on the
mandatory
planet.
now. Yeah. But at least in Mortal Kombat, they're like, well, they're only adapting Mortal Kombat 1, so you're not going to see Reptile and some of these other characters. And they went, oh, yeah? Oh, yeah?
You thought, idiot?
Well, I mean,
like
that's, that's Silent Hill said that too. They said, here's Pyramid Head. Here's guys
True.
that you didn't
He's
think you
making
were
a good
gonna
point.
see.
That's more the hodgepodge only because like these series don't have a continuity. Like they're not supposed to, except for 1 and 3. They're not really supposed to have a continuity. So
I mean, Mortal Kombat doesn't really have that much of continuity either.
Yeah, I think
it
when I
has
think
such an
continuity,
insane
I'm thinking-
continuity that like, I'll
it
send you a video
it
that'll
does,
break your
but
brain.
also it doesn't.
It's not important, but it's
there were
it's
games
there.
where they threw a bunch of characters together and said, what if they fought each other? It's like, that's all you need to know.
Well, that's Silent Hill.
Yeah, that was Silent Hill. that was Turn Off
Silent
the
Hill.
Well,
Century.
hang on.
Okay,
Any other closing remarks? Any other closing remarks? This one is special to me. I'm glad we all embraced it as
I
best
think
we
I've
could.
got about as closed as I can get on that one.
Yeah, no, I don't really have much
more.
more to add as far as... Again, I think I came out appreciating it. I think I'm still on the mindset, like, it didn't really wow me one way or the other. I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't necessarily
very
think it's
middle.
a good movie either. I think it has its moments, and I think it has its heart in the right place. And at the end of the day, that's all you can really ask for.
For certain.
But it's not a movie I ever really need to revisit again and kind of dig into, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
If
kind of where I go
I
with
can
it.
see myself seeing it again maybe after I've played the games, because I would like to play 1 and 2 at least. At
Yeah.
some point.
They're remaking one next, so like the same team that did their 2 remakes. So like you'll
There you
have,
go. Oh.
if you need good graphics, I guess, you know. But aside from that, like they are just these. I don't know. I'll always go to bat. I know we do a film podcast, but like I'll always go to bat for fucking video games as being like actually like more next level because they can use a lot of film language, but then ultimately like do their own thing. That like this could only happen in a video game, and I
Right.
think this is like very emblematic of a time where like there were grown ass adult men artists who like appreciated that, and it's really nice whenever you're constantly fighting for like the validity of a medium to like see somebody be like it's not only valid, but like I'm gonna give it my most honest try. And unlike you two, I will very likely revisit this again and again and again as the years go on because, like, it's sentimentality, I'd say, more than nostalgia. Because even like nostalgically, I didn't even like the movie, and now I'm like, I kind of appreciate and respect it, and I'm glad I can do that with something, you know.
All right, well, that's cool. And I mean,
What's next on the docket? We've got, is it Jackass?
I think it's Jackass.
Should be Jackass.
Okay, next up,
And
guys.
I'm excited for that one.
Yes,
Cause,
but
watching along
please
at
check in
home.
on the Twitter account because we will drop the seasons in advance, so you can watch the movies before us if you haven't seen them.
and also just subscribe. I got the YouTube channel up. I go ahead, leave comments. Do tell your friends about it too.
Tell me I'm handsome. It's
Tell
great.
Hunter
You
he's
can-
handsome.
You could type anything in there.
Tell Sauce
can-
that he
you
needs to
can
go
interact with
to Alcoholics Anonymous.
It's not anonymous. Everybody knows. It's not. Did you know? Sauce is an alcoholic? And I'm like,
Oh no, you don't say.
I'm like,
Really, the
you
guy
fucking-
who does
you
the
do it.
cartoon hiccup halfway through all the podcasts? I'm like,
Fuck you. You do a podcast every 2 weeks and tell me how easy you think it is. Bitch.
All right, well, that was Turn Off the Century. So before Sauce gets killed by Pyramid Head, I need you to turn off the damn podcast now because Pyramid Head is coming and he's going to rip Sauce's skin off.
No,
if we don't
guys,
turn this
Pyramid
off right
Head
now.
comes when the
It's
podcast
about to
ends.
happen.
That's
He's
why I
coming
drew
right
this one out
now.
for 2 hours.
Turn off.
No!
Happy Halloween, everybody.